Hi y'all, good morning. It is sunrise on the Tennessee River, although can't really see much of it this morning because it's so dang foggy out here, but we're going to appreciate that fog here in a little while when it gets hot. Y'all, we're going catfishing today. Blues, probably. Flatheads, maybe. We're going to try to get us some of both today, and I'm going to bring y'all with me. Y'all going to be my fishing partners out here this morning, so I'm going to stick yous in the chest here first thing, and we're going to get baited up and get after it, man. We're going to be using a combination of baits to start with. We got some skipjack and we've got some white bass, and I want to put a little bit of both on just to see what's going to be most effective this morning. So I'm going to hook this skipjack head up first, and we're going to put it on a dragging rig. I'm going to do 2 dragging rigs today and 2 suspend fishing rigs. We're going to fish 4 rods, and we're going to offer them a piece of skipjack dragging and a piece of white bass dragging, and then one of each suspending. So we're going to have our bases covered. So if you're new to my channel, this is my dragging rig. We've got 40-pound test mainline down to a 3-way swivel. On that 3-way, we've got my dragging sinker attached here. I make these. There's a link down in the video description if you want to learn how. They're very simple, cheap, easy to do. Off of that, we've got 80-pound monofilament leader down to a float and rattle, then our hook with the skipjack head. And then lastly, about, I don't know, foot and a half below that, we've got a Catfish Sumo bait stalker fly. So I'm going to start letting out some line on this rig as we get our next one baited up. And we're going to get on the move here today, y'all. And here in a minute, when we get everything baited up, I'll take the camera and show you my map card on the screen so you can kind of see how we're going to be fishing today, what we're going to be doing. But we're going to be covering some water out here. We're looking for fish today. We're not sitting around waiting on them to come to us on this particular trip. We're going to have to go to the fish, because I got a feeling they could be just about anywhere out here on this ledge today. So this rig here, exact same setup. The only difference is going to be the bait. That's a chunk of white bass there. So we're going to start letting out some line on it. Water is flat calm out here. We're fishing on a weekday, so I don't anticipate a lot of boat traffic. So we're not going to run these lines, the dragging rigs, we're not going to run them a great deal of distance behind us today. We're not really going to have to. Now, my suspend fishing rig here, most regular viewers have seen this by now because this is my favorite way to fish, but if you're new, here it is. Again, 40-pound test mainline. We've got just a regular swivel above it, 8-ounce egg sinker. That heavier weight's going to help keep our lines vertical as we drift along. I want them directly under me. But that goes down to 80-pound monofilament leader, 10-aught size circle hook, and then again, we've got one of those flies there a few inches below it. So I'm gonna, on this rig, I'm gonna put our white bass head, and the next one there, we'll have the skipjack chunk. So multiple cuts, multiple types of baits, multiple techniques. We're gonna throw the kitchen sink at these fish today. Not gonna have any current out here this morning. They are moving a little bit of water at the dam, but it is such minimal flow and we are so far away from the dam, we're not going to experience anything. Now, maybe if they were to kick up the flow a little bit this morning, maybe we get a little flow before we leave today, but I'm not counting on it. I'm counting on today for us to catch fish. We're going to have to put our baits in front of them. We're not going to have any, the only scent trail that we're going to have today is the scent trail we're creating by trolling, by moving along. So we're going to the fish, hopefully, hopefully going to find them. This is a pretty good technique for summertime fishing. I've had a lot of success doing this through the years, so we're going to try it again today. So again, this rig, same exact setup as the other suspend rig, with the exception of the bait, which is a skipjack chunk on this one. So down it goes. We'll get this down, then we'll flip our bails over on our dragging rods. And I think we'll be fishing, y'all. I've got our speed set right now about a half a mile an hour. We're currently 69 feet here where we're at, and our depth is going to vary. We're going to have to kind of tinker with our depth on our suspend fishing rigs. Now our dragging rigs won't matter. It's set it and forget it on those. But the suspend rigs, as our depth changes, we'll have to compensate for it being, because we want to keep those baits about 2 to 3 feet off bottom. So I'm gonna flip the bail over on that one. We'll go ahead and get this one too. The way they'll be running different distances behind us. So I'll take a camera here and show you around. Hopefully you can see. Yeah, I first pulled my damn camera out the bag. It's so foggy and humid out here. The lens was all fogged up, which y'all probably rather see a foggy lens than my face anyway. But anyway, hopefully you all can see. Sun's getting up over there though. It's going to get miserable hot once this fog and haze burns off. So we're going to catch these fish early. But out here where I'm at on Tennessee River, it is just main channel ledge. We're out here in the main river channel. I've been seeing, coming down through here, I was seeing some paddlefish jumping. So we may see a sight here potentially this morning. But where I'm at here on the map card, you can see, normally when I'm fishing ledges, I like to work contours, work the edges, bottom edges. Now, this section of the river here, if you notice, you take a look at the contours, you don't really have a lot of sharp drops or sharp increases in depth. Like these ledges over here to our left is a deep flat. It's mid-20s in depth, and then it has a just gradual taper off till you get over here. Now on this side, you do have a little bit of a more significant drop down, but then when we get over here to the main channel, again, it kind of just gradual off. So we're going to just pull kind of up the middle of this today and hopefully get fish that are roaming around out here. We're just going to try to put a bait in front of them. We're going to just take this stretch of ledge and head up through here in this direction. You can't see because of all the dang fog. And I launched up here, so we're going to kind of fish our way back toward the car. And as we go along, we'll be working this ledge. I'm not sure timing-wise how long it's going to take to get to it, but there is a hold up here, upriver, that I've had success at in previous summers too, so that's possible. I started here, there's a deep hole down here behind us. I got out here, I turned my graph on, looked around, didn't see anything in it, didn't see anything on the top edge of it. So I thought we'll start here, we'll work our way up to the next hole, hopefully if it don't get too damn hot before then, and maybe catch some fish up and down here in the middle in between. So y'all my fishing buddies today. I'm going raw and uncut, unedited. Y'all are with me here from right now when we're dropping baits down until either I'll leave or the camera battery dies, whichever happens first. Could go either way today with the heat. We had a little break in the heat. We've had quite a bit of rain lately. The first part of summer here, it was dry as all get out, man. You couldn't buy a drop of rain. Now, for like the last 2 weeks, it won't quit raining. But we got a little break in the rain today, and the break that we did have in the heat while it's been raining, that's over today. It's supposed to be back in the 90s, so temps in the 90s, humidity as high as it is, going to be miserable fast. So we're going to catch these fish early, hopefully, and have our fun, and then the pleasure boaters and any other idiots that want to be out here in the sweltering heat, they can have it, by gosh. But I really want to get me some cats this morning, man. It's kind of been a tough summer so far. The bite by now is normally good, like a post-spawn bite, like this ledge bite. It's normally good by now. But thus far, I'm just not getting on the fish like I have in years past. Normally by now, I mean, you're catching a lot more fish. You're getting fish that are kind of beat up. They got scars on them, marks on them from where they've been protecting the nest, where they've been on the spawn. I'm not seeing that yet. And I don't know if that means that the timing's been a little off, if I've just been in the wrong places. But typically these main channel ledges, like it's honestly, it's kind of a hard bite to screw up in the summer most years. But boy, I've been screwing it up lately because it just ain't been working out for me. So we'll see. I'm optimistic, but my confidence has been hit a little bit with how poorly things have gone lately on some recent catfishing trips. If you're seeing this though, good news, something went right for us today, else you wouldn't be seeing this video. We caught some fish out here. But it's been a tough go of it. And it ain't just been for the catfish lately. The bait's been tough too. Typically with skipjack, I kind of follow them. When they make their run upriver in the spring, I go up there and catch them while they're spawning. You know, they're easy to catch during that period of time. But once the skipjack spawn, once it tapers off, those fish start making their way back downriver, and they move down kind of incrementally. It's easy to pattern most years. Most years you could set your watch by where they're going to be and when. This year, I have not been able to get on them. I kept thinking maybe my timing was a little off. I thought, well, maybe I'm a little early. They haven't got there yet. Then I got to think, well, maybe they got there really early and I just completely missed them. I have still yet to been able. I'm getting some skipjack right now. You know, my last trip there, my last video for regular viewers, it was a bait run and I got some skipjack. But I'm not getting skipjack in the numbers and the volume that I typically do, and I'm not getting them where I can oftentimes get them this time of year. It's been an odd year, and I can't put my finger on why. But all we can keep doing is stepping up the plate and taking our swings. And you take enough swings, you're eventually going to make contact, and we're going to try to make contact with a fish's mouth today. We have us a day where we catch some big fish and have us a good time. We won't even be thinking about them trips that ain't went worth a diddly doo-doo. Something popped right there in front of us. Oh, there he is again. He wants a cameo on his video is what he wants. He ain't gonna do it no more now that I've pointed him out. I was trying to give him his moment of fame. Ungrateful fish. Yeah, this ledge bite, me in the summertime, this has kind of been a go-to for me for years, getting out and either drifting if I have current flow, which most of the time in the mornings you don't. Most of the time it's afternoon current. Well, there was a big splash. That may have been a paddlefish. Most of the time this time of year though, TVA is just not generating a lot of water in the morning, not a lot of current in the morning hours. It usually picks up mid-morning, increases throughout the afternoon. They're using that flow at the dams to make electricity. So they ramp up the flow during the highest energy demand time periods, and that's afternoons. Once the workday is over for most people go home, energy demands decrease, and so they cut it back. But if I have flow, I like to drift. I like to get out on these ledges, most of the time work the contours, although again, we're not really going to be doing that this morning per se. But drifting if you have current, if you don't, trolling like we're doing today, and either suspending baits or dragging baits, very effective technique. But thus far, it's been tough since some fish went on the nest. It's been tough. I was on a great bite before the spawn, really good bite. And even once the spawn started on the main lake, I was able to move around, find some cooler water temps, and still keep on that good bite. But the last few weeks after they've went on the nest and up to now when they should be coming off the nest, most of them should be off, I'm still just not finding them in good numbers. So it's a matter of time. We'll turn the corner on this. Slumps never last forever. And all kinds of people go, look at all the baseball players, home run hitters, Hall of Famers. Look how many of them have had slumps, man. It's stepping up to the plate, taking your swings, and putting in some time this morning. We're going to log some hours. And if you're seeing this, it obviously worked out. But if for some reason this didn't work out, it's not going to deter me from going out the next day and getting after them again. It's just we're going to keep getting our reps, and it'll pay off. But I'm hoping today, man, I want some blues, obviously, but I've been hankering for a flathead, man. I want it bad. I want to get me a big flathead. If we get a big flathead today, I'll bet you a shiny nickel and a $2 bill, if I can find one, that the flathead would come on these front two rods, one of the front two. They'll hit a suspended bait. Our dragging baits off the back will get 100% blues. Or if we get some rinky-dink channel cat or something. The flatheads, I've never been able to figure out why. I just don't catch them on the dragging rigs. I've probably caught less than 10 flatheads, and all the times I have dragged baits, I mean, you're talking hundreds of hours at this point that I've dragged baits, I've probably caught less than 10 flatheads dragging. Like you just don't get them. I even added, the reason I added those flies onto the dragging rigs, that's new for this year. I'd been using the flies on my suspend fishing rigs for the last couple years, and they've been great. I've caught a lot of extra fish on those flies, both blues and flatheads on the suspend rigs. But this is the first year that I've used them on the dragging rigs, and I added them on. I thought there would be a chance that those flies on a dragging rig might cause you to get snagged up a little bit more frequently. That's been my concern with trying them in the last couple of years, is I'm like, you just got another exposed hook pulling across debris and objects and everything else on the river bottom, like it's a snag waiting to happen. But this year I wanted to try it because I was like, maybe that fly, that artificial presentation, it kind of mimics a smaller live bait trolling behind your cut bait. Maybe that might get us some extra flatheads. You know, and that was my thought behind it of trying it. Now, fortunately, having that fly on there has not affected the snags at all. Like I'm not getting, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx it today, but I'm not getting any extra snags because of the fly. But I'm also not getting any more flatheads. So that experiment, at least thus far, has not panned out. It didn't go like I had hoped it would. So I'm going to leave the flies on for time being, just try to probably work them through the end of the year, kind of see how many extra blues at least we get, and see if it's worthwhile to continue on using them on the dragging rigs on a regular basis. I mean, I love having the flies on my suspend rigs because, I mean, there's been just so many extra fish caught on those suspend rigs that have eaten the fly. Again, blues, flatheads both. I've caught my biggest blue cat of the year ate that damn fly. I got him back in, I think it was February or early March. I got that big blue that it ate the fly, man. And I've had days where, and this is on video, it's documented, where the flies have outperformed the cut bait. It's just, I don't know why that is, but whatever reason, they're keyed in on a certain size of bait or whatever on a particular day, and them flies happen to represent it, that's what gets eaten. So I've got a ton of confidence in the flies on the suspend rigs. But the dragging rigs, I'm just not having, and part of it's I've not used them on the dragging rigs enough to really formulate a solid opinion. Is this a fish or a snag? Oh, it's a fish. He's pulling. Here's our skipjack head on the dragging rig getting eat, y'all. I looked back, I thought maybe I was hung up for a minute. I felt the kayak pulling around, and then I saw the rod tip giving. I was like, nope, that's fish. Well, fish number one for those of you coming along with me today. Thanks for being my fishing buddies out here. Y'all are pretty good people, I don't care what they say. What's that line from the Goo Goo Dolls song? All we are is what we're told, most of that's been lies. It's like a made for TV movie and I just forgot my line, something like that. Very underrated band from the 90s, y'all, the Goo Goo Dolls. If you ever get a chance to go see them in concert, they are amazing. It's like reliving. I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head now the rest of the day, now that I've sung you all a couple lines from it. But underrated band. Brings back my teenage years just thinking about it. We're getting all nostalgic and reminiscent out here today. What kind of music you think this catfish here listens to? I think he's gonna be an okay fish, by the way. He's not really fighting me incredibly hard. I'm kind of pulling him in. I'm hoping I don't have him foul hooked or something. Maybe it's a small fish that's feeling bigger than he is because he's foul hooked, but he's not really fighting a lot, but I'm pulling in some resistance here. And if you remember, this here was the line that I let out first. So it was dragging farther behind the kayak. Not that that necessarily makes a difference, but that's just something as we move along today, something to kind of keep an eye on, pay attention to. Are fish, are they eating a certain presentation? Are they eating a certain type of bait? This rig here that was way farther behind the kayak than the other one, are they hitting it more? It's just something over the course of a day, you can kind of piece together things if you're actively catching fish regularly. Who knows today, but I mean, I feel like we're getting bit here pretty quickly into the trip. He's come up back there, but I'm looking into the sun. I think that's going to be a solid fish. He's going to get crazy up here on the surface now. Y'all get your fish under control, would you? He's still not really fought. I wonder, I think, I see what's happened here. This fish is going to go crazy on us when we land him. He's going to go absolutely crazy. I think he's ate the skipjack head. The fly line has wrapped around him and hooked him. He probably feels constricted right now. When a catfish feels constricted, they don't fight. So this fish is going to be full of energy. When we get him, when we release that pressure, he's going to go insane. And we're going to have a fully energized fish going nuts on us in here. And this one's beat up, buddy. This is what we want to see this time of year. See how his fin right here is? It is all marked up. Oh boy, he's going to be a handful. Should we land him before we get him on? Let's do it. We're going to regret it bringing him in here though and doing it in here. No, come on in here, fish. When we undo this one that's wrapping around him, I want to get this hook out the damn kayak here in a hurry before he goes crazy. I can feel him wanting to flop around. Look at his head though. He's marked up here, he's got a gouge. His fin's all tore up. That happens because they're defending the nest. You sit there and act like somebody, fish. You sit there and calm your hind end down. We ain't putting up no nonsense out here today. While he's acting a fool, let's take a look at our bait here. It's no longer than it's been out there. It's still good. I'm going to rehook it. I want to rehook this bait, and we'll start letting that line on it while we hold this fish up here and try to give him a moment of fame. I want to put y'all in the front seat. You want to take a picture of me and this fish? You can if you want to. He's not going to make my Instagram, but I might make his. Let's see if I can get that screen on. I can't get the dang camera. There it is. There's the front screen. Technical difficulties, y'all. Bear with me here. You'd think this is my first day on the job. He still ain't wanting to calm down either. He is. It's a good fish here, though, for fish number 1. Hold yourself up here. Quit it. He didn't fight the whole way in. I knew something was up. But I want you to look at this fish here. Again, he's marked up. This fish is fresh off the nest, man. Very recent. But he is skinny. He's a long fish, but he is way underweight. Because when they've been on the nest, they just haven't been feeding very much. You know, they've been guarding the fry, and they lose a bunch of weight. So when they come off the nest, you can oftentimes get on a good bite because they're aggressively feeding. They're actively feeding, trying to get their weight back on. But it ain't worked out at this point in the... Is that a fish or am I snagged here behind me? We're gonna let this go and check this rod. Get out of here, you old fish. Get out of here. You go tell your friends I'm ready for them too. I wonder if we didn't just pull through something here. It kind of acted like a fish for a second, didn't it? I think it's a fish. It is, we got a fish here. Here, I gotta do something though, y'all. We gotta set him back a second. Let me get y'all, if y'all's fishing partner's worth a damn, our depth has changed. We're gonna get these lines snagged. Y'all should have done raised them up while I was dealing with that other fish. Y'all I can't get any work out of you ever. Y'all make me do everything around here. I don't know how to motivate you to do anything. This fish has been swimming. I hope he didn't get in our other line over there. Well, I didn't even know he was on. I was so focused on the other fish flopping around, I didn't even know he was on until I glanced back. This is another one that don't feel too bad, man. 2 on the dragging rigs, which means we went right over the top of those fish with the suspend rigs, and they didn't touch them. And I know that might seem silly because whether it's the dragging rig or a suspend rig, those baits are elevated up off bottom. But there's something different about the presentation, and some days you'll find fish wanting one or the other. Some days it's great and you catch them on both. Some days you will find fish show a preference. I think his fish has gotten that other damn line. Y'all could have prevented that. You just want me to have a mess and make a fool of myself out here on videos, what you want. Every time we go fishing, you don't even care about the fish, you just want to make a fool of me. Look at that line. Can we work this around somehow without him? It's a good fish. Can we work that line around possibly? No, he's wound, buddy. This one's actually going to expend a little energy here before he... I want to get him out of that line is what I want to do. Okay, I think we're good. I think he come out of it. Good. That's the first, that's catching the break right there, y'all. That's the first time y'all have tried to sabotage me and I was able to get around it. Yeah, this is another solid fish here, another fun sizer. This one on the white bass chunk. So far, 2 different baits, 2 different distances behind us as far as the, how far we're running them back. So it's encouraging. I mean, it don't matter to me if they want to hit the suspended or the dragging. I don't care. I just want to catch them, This one here, I believe, is bigger than the last one. He's definitely more fired up. No. Come here, fish. He's skinny too, though, but I mean, he's a little bit bigger. It popped right out. I got to get us on course here. Wait a minute. Okay, We're veering off there. Yeah, nice, man. Let me set y'all up here again. Again, if y'all ain't gonna reel in a fish or bait a hook or nothing, at least take a picture of me and this old fish right here, make his Instagram. He'll tell all his friends. I bet he'll tag me in the post. This one ain't beat up. Like he don't have any marks on it, but you can see how skinny he is. So definitely needs to eat and put on weight, but hey, that's 2 here in what, the first half hour here, y'all? That's a good sign, man. Both on the dragging. He tried to splash water on us on the way out too, didn't he? Oh man, this line over here. I think it's around my damn rudder. Gosh dang it. I think we're gonna have to golly bun, that fish, man. It's always something, y'all. Always something. Every time I fish with y'all, it's always something. We got to adjust these front lines again. I'm up to 60 feet deep here now. I got to get us back over. That damn line is up under us. I think that fish has run us over the top of our rudder right there, which I hope that's not going to, I hope this isn't going to fray our line. I hope it's not going to fray. We're going to turn around this way. I want to see if I can. Oh my gosh. It's under my line, my rudder or my skeg one. I don't know which. Oh my gosh. Every time I fish with y'all, it is something, man. Every single time. I hope this ain't, so far so good. It only takes one nick though. Watch this, we'll get this line reeled up here, and you know what'll happen? We'll get the damn thing hung up under the kayak. You know damn well that's what's gonna happen. I can feel that thing rubbing the whole way. My kayak here it's seen better days. It is, my skeg line is broke, so it is always down. And I think that's what we're up under here. We need to get another line out, man. Kayak's still moving. I've got to still going forward. When you're dragging bait, you always want to keep yourself moving forward. This is taking forever. I can feel all that resistance though. So far so good. I don't think we're causing any damage to our line. It's taking longer to reel my damn line up through this, across this skeg than what it took us to get them fish in, man. Dadgummit. Oh, that is abrading our line right there. Yeah, if we get a big fish on today and break off, it's y'all's fault. I just hope this thing comes out from under the dang. There it come. There it come, folks. Lord Almighty. Whew. Can't take y'all anywhere. Okay. Let's get that going. We're finally back in the game, half hour later. We lost a ton of time because of you. Let me get me another piece of white bass. I'm gonna take another chunk here. We got skipjack. We've got white bass. I also have one bluegill in that bag that we may or may not work through. It's actually a sunfish. It looked cool. And so I kept it because I thought it would make a good looking thumbnail or something. But I don't know if we'll use it. If we can catch plenty of fish on the white bass and skipjack, I'm way more confident in those two baits than what I am in a bluegill. All right. Half hour later, we got you ready to go here. Get these scales, folks, when you hooking your cut bait on. If you got a scale that's on your hook point or your barb, always remove it. It don't seem like it's a big deal. I promise you it is. Let's start letting out some line on that. I'm worried about that other line over there. There was at least one section of it there that had some abrasion. Now that could have been caused from going over the debris down there at some point too. It's not necessarily because of the kayak or the rudder, whatever the hell or skeg, whatever we was tied up in. But I did feel some abrasion on part of it, so if we have problems today, we'll know what caused it. I'll go through it later and when I get home today and maybe strip off some of that line and just see if we can, because in the beginning I wasn't really feeling a lot of abrasion, but it's 40-pound test. I mean, even if we got a little, as long as there ain't a major nick in it, we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and flip that bail over on that one. We'll let that other one go out just a little bit. Don't let me forget to flip this bail over on this other rod. We'll look back and we won't have any line on it. I've done that before. Be down to the very end of the spool there. But hey, y'all, I mean, let me at least give you a fist pump here. We got 2 fun sizers within the first half hour. I mean, I'll take that. Good sign, real good sign seeing that one that was all marked up, man. Really good sign. And it could just be the timing off, man. It could be that just timing's a little bit later this year, possibly. But I would expect to start seeing those beat up fish a whole lot more this time of year. It just should be anyway. And it'll take those fish a while to get their weight back on. I mean, they really, spawning is hard on these fish. The time period they spend on the nest, the battles they have with other fish, just defending their nest, the predators and stuff, trying to eat their babies, their fry. And then too, let's be real, catfishing noodlers, hand grabbers, you know, them idiots that put out boxes so the fish will go spawn in there and then they'll go stick their hands in there and rip them out by their mouth. And I know they'll say, well, we don't damage the fish. Come on. Bulllarky. The mortality rate's not 0, that's for damn sure. When you're reaching your hand in there and letting that fish bite your hand and you're grabbing on with anything you can, you tell me they ain't damaging some gills? And then half these people, you'll see them, they'll run their hand up under the gill, they'll have them both ways and then fling them over their shoulder. Like, come on. Like, there's some damage that happens. I guarantee it, man. I guarantee you there is. And then you see these guys complaining online all the time. Well, this body of water ain't got fish in it no more. There ain't no catfish in here. The numbers are on the decline. You see people whining on social media all the time. And they all want to blame the pay lakers. And sure, the pay lake guys that come out and set these damn nets and haul out our trophy fish, they're a problem. They're absolutely a problem. But you know who else is a problem? These people that are ripping the fish off the nest. Because let me tell you, even if the fish that they're hand grabbing, let's assume it survives. The time that it is off that nest, its babies there, its fry are unguarded. So bass, bluegill, I mean, anything else, the fry are so small, anything is going to be eating those fry. Turtles. So a lot of those smaller fish, the babies get, the nests get ruined in this situation. And then, well, you know, you do that long enough, you get enough people doing that, well, I wonder why the fishing's on the decline. You know, that in conjunction with everything else going on, just the pay lakers, the extra pressure on these fish, because there's so many more fishermen on the water now. Tournaments, I mean, there's so many catfish tournaments now that are, and listen, I mean, I'm somebody, I like fishing tournaments. But our tournaments in the kayak, we do the measurements, we do the lengths. So we get our picture, that fish goes right back in the water. He's swimming along, man. He's swimming right there where we caught him at. The boat tournaments, they put these fish in live wells that, let's be real, most of them are too small for the size and number of fish that are going in there. They get jostled around in a live well all day long, bouncing up and down river, and then get hauled to a weigh-in where they'll ultimately be released miles and miles away from where they were caught. What's the mortality rate? It ain't zero. Now, there ain't been no studies done on catfish to my knowledge. I've mentioned this before in other videos, and nobody's been able to provide me with any studies that have been done, so I don't think there have been. But I'll tell you this on the bass, they've done studies. Now, bass aren't as hardy a fish as catfish, that's proven. But the bass mortality rate, extremely high in the summer months especially. The study, I heard a fisheries biologist, he was doing a podcast, and he was talking about this. The guy was from Tennessee, and they'd done a study. Bass that were caught in water above 80 degrees had an 80% mortality rate. Those fish, they were studied, they were released after a tournament. And those bass tournaments, they're catch and release. You know, those fish swim off. But within 3 days, those fish, 80% of them would be dead. So they're going to swim off after the tournament. You can have your catch and release tournament. It's a live release. But just the stress they've been under, being caught in the warmer water temperatures and then being toted around in a live well for hours and then being released somewhere that's not where they were caught, the stress of it all, those fish die, 80% of them. 80% mortality in water above 80 degrees. That's an insane number. That's an absolutely insane number. I mean, these bass fishing guys, the tournament guys, how many, when I've kept an occasional bass to use for bait, regular viewers, you've seen these guys light me up. They have lit me up on social media, just ripped me, because I'll keep 1 or 2 bass occasionally. Them guys are killing 80% of every fish they weigh in. 80%. And then they wonder why they don't have any trophy bass out here where we fish at. You know what I mean? Like, they fish their tournaments all year long, and they might be 1 7-pounder caught. And they wonder, well, I don't know why. It must be the catfish. It must be the stripers eating or it's the carp messing up the bass. But hell no, it's you idiots. It's you idiots not taking care of your resource. Y'all are the problem. You know what I mean? And it ain't no different with catfish. Just because we don't know the mortality numbers doesn't mean that us fishermen and the other people, the hand-grabbing people, the trot liners especially, because they're toting out every single fish they catch, you know, all those, everybody that participates in fishing is having some impact on the sport. Everybody. So, you know, we all got to, right here, front rod getting a little love tap. First time one of these suspend rigs has been touched. About time. I've been trying to get y'all to catch one on them for 30 minutes now. But I mean, we all got to do better at taking care of the resource. The fisheries biologists, game wardens, like they do the best they can with what resources they have. But any biologist, any wildlife resource agency, whatever state you're in, they're going to be reactive. None of them are proactive. They're always reactive. It's always once the damage is done, then, hold on, we got a back rod here. It was getting tugged on. Something hit it. But these wildlife resource agencies, they are going to react to situations. Once damage has been done, then they're going to change regulations. The problem is, to get to that point, damage has already been done. You know, they're not going to proactively try to change something. So that's where us fishermen have to be involved and just be responsible for ourselves. We have to police ourselves, because we can do a lot of damage before any changes to regulations have taken place. And then, even then, once the regulations take place, it takes years oftentimes to recover. So I ain't trying to lecture you and tell you how to be, but I'm just saying, I think most reasonable, sensible people out there know where I'm coming from with this. And everybody wants to point fingers at everybody else. And certainly some groups are more guilty than others. When you get these pay lakers that are coming down here and fish. Oh, that's a nice takedown. Nice takedown. It's on that head again. I think this is a better fish right here. This one definitely feels better. That was a nice takedown. Dragon rig's getting it done today, folks. At least thus far. We've had that one tap. 3 fish down the dragon rigs, 1 tap on the suspend rigs. Yeah, it don't matter to me. It don't matter to me what they want to hit. I just want to catch them, man. I just want some fish today. I want to catch some fish. I want to do it before it gets miserable hot. If y'all want to stay out here after it's miserable hot, by all means. My ass will be in the home in the air conditioning. Assuming my air conditioner still works. I got to tell you that story too. I got another air conditioner story. This one actually has a happy ending. Remind me to tell you that before we leave today. I hear that damn line. Yeah, it's abraded all to hell right there. All the way up through there. I'm gonna have to strip off a bunch of this line when I get home today. I'm just going to have to re-spool this thing. All because y'all let that fish get in my line while I was holding up the other. If you'd reeled in that fish, we wouldn't have that happen. It would never got in my rudder, and it would have never done that. I swear, I think y'all just come fishing with me just to try to set me up to make a fool of myself on video. I swear, I think that's what you do. Happens every time we fish together. I still ain't got to look at this thing, but I think he's going to be a good one. He's actually comparable there to the others. He's still wound up. I'm looking right into the sun, of course, but I think he's comparable to the others there. He's a fun sizer for sure. Let's get our glove here and we'll take a look at this head when we get it back. I may go ahead and switch this head bait out. Another long, skinny fish. Here, you know what? Let's set y'all up here in the front seat right now. Y'all set up there while I land this fish, would you? There you go. I gotta watch that stinger hook here. I don't want to get stung, if you know what I mean. The main hook's going out his bottom lip. I gotta be careful with it too. Okay. I was worried he was gonna roll and put that hook in me. It's coming out a bad spot right there. Went right through the bottom lip. Give me a minute here, y'all. You just admire my hat here while I'm bent over and dealing with this. Kayak Catfish hats available at catfishsumo.com. There we go. Man, it still looks pretty good. I'm gonna throw it back out. I want to just, we got one back here on this rod. Here's what I want to do. Let's start letting out some line. Let's let out some line on that one. Did he not hook up? Oh, he's on there, he's on there. We'll let out some line on that rod while we reel in this one. And you just hang out there on the floor a minute, Blue Cat. We got important stuff going on here. Your friend has stole your moment of thunder. Man, dragon rigs getting it done here today, y'all. Suspend rigs, diddly doo-doo happening. Diddly poo-poo. We may switch that head bait out in a minute, but it still looks okay and it's still hooked good. So I want to go ahead and get it back out here because we're continuing to move, and if we're going through some fish, I want to have a chance at them while we hold this fish up. And I don't like leaving a fish on the floor like this. Here I am talking about mortality rates and taking care of fish, and I'm leaving one down on the floor. I know, I'm a hypocrite. But we'll reel this one up. We'll get him up here to the surface. And that way he can't have a chance to get another line over here. Then we'll hold this one up. Yeah, this is a small one right here. Tell you what, Blue Cat, you're tiny, so you just sit over there and think about what you've done. He's made poor life decisions today, folks. It's going to be on a juvenile record of some kind. This one, though, made a good decision by joining this video today. It's a fun size length, but just skinny. Just spawned out skinny. Happy to have you, though, fish. I'm going to get you out of here because I've left you out of that water too long. There he goes. He gone. Now let's get this one. A little smaller Blue Cat here. Listen, the bar's been set too high for us to be happy with this fish right here. Oh, don't be splashing me, fish. No. There we go. There we go. Little old thing, little dink. He ate that bait or knocked it off one, so we'll cut us another white bass and get that on. But that's awesome, man. That's 4 fish now, all on the dragging, so don't matter. Don't matter to me what they want. We come out here giving them options today for that very reason. But yeah, just to finish up the previous point, even though I look like a total hypocrite because I just left that fish out of the water for a couple minutes. we as fishermen got to do better, and hopefully over time we will, but it's just a matter of educating people, I think, and trying to be positive examples. I always try to encourage catch and release of these big fish on my videos. I got no problem people catching smaller fish, and I wouldn't recommend eating them where I'm fishing at today just because of the contamination. Y'all look up the pollution in the Tennessee River there online, at least the northern part of the river, and learn everything you want to about it. But I wouldn't recommend people eat anything out of here. But if you want to keep smaller fish, by all means. But the trophy fish, it takes so long to grow a trophy fish. Catfish are very slow growing in their early years. It's just hard to replace them. And so if we are killing a bunch of trophy fish, which recreational fishermen have gotten better about it. You used to see when somebody would catch a trophy-sized fish, you would see pictures of it hanging from a tree or in the back of a truck bed. They'd drive it all over town showing people. That's kind of gone away now a little bit. Well, the guts have fallen all over the fly there. That's gone away. That kind of mentality is phasing out, thankfully. People are getting more conscientious about taking care of fish and whatnot. But the pay lakes is a problem. When they put their nets out and take a bunch of fish, trophy-sized fish, out of public water to put them into a pond where they're ultimately going to die, that's a problem. I don't know how you get on top of that, because laws are already in place that would prevent such a thing, but laws only stop honest people. It's like having a speed limit of 55 on the interstate. If you don't have cops out there writing tickets, well, everybody's going to do 75 on the interstate. And it's like that with putting out these nets and trot lines and stuff and taking more fish than they're allowed. There's nobody to enforce the laws, so dishonest people do dishonest things. But hopefully we're going to have trophy fisheries and good populations of big fish for long periods of time to come. I hope so, anyway. I'm trying to stay alive a few more years at least, so I'd like to keep catching big fish the whole time. After I croak, y'all can do with it what you want. I'm gonna try to stay healthy until I kick the bucket, and whatever y'all do after that, that's y'all's business. My line has gotten hung here, so I'm letting this go out a little longer. I ain't forgot about it. I'm gonna run it just a little bit further back there. 4 fish though, y'all, on the damn dragon rigs. Can't get these suspend rigs hit. We're moving half a mile an hour, 59 feet deep here, where we're at now. Let's check these front rods too, just make sure we don't, yeah, we're good. Couldn't remember when I had last adjusted them, what depth we were at, so. All right, let's flip that one over, and let's go ahead and get that one too, that way they're running different distances. Yeah, folks, I mean, we're dragging out here, and this is just kind of the way the contours are, it's just not a good edge for these fish to follow along. So I kind of thought they might be just kind of roaming out here. And this kind of area where you're not following a specific contour, this kind of an area, if you were the type of person that wanted or needed planer boards to catch a catfish, this is the kind of area where it would be ideal. Because in this type of place where I expect fish could be kind of spread out and roaming, the more water you can cover. And look right here, we just flipped that bell over and we're already getting hit. You know me, I'm not an advocate for planer boards. I hate them. It's the least fun way to catch a fish, in my opinion. But if you're the type that wants them, this is an ideal spot to use them. He hit him, he didn't hook up. What I struggle with is seeing guys using them on ledges that do have a defined edge, and it's like, why are you wasting your time with that mess? You know, I think some people just run planer boards because it's just easier. You know, they don't want to fool with raising baits up and down with the suspend fishing rigs, and they don't want to have to watch their graph and keep themselves on the edge of a contour. They don't want to fool with that. It's just too much. They just want to throw everything out and just hope for the best. Now, that's fine. I mean, people, you can do that and catch a lot of fish doing that. And there are some areas, like I just described here, you can get back in creeks. Creeks are a good place to run planer boards. Deep flats, another place where they kind of excel. You know, every tool has its job, but I personally just don't like them. You know, we're out here, we're creating, when we're trolling along, even though we don't have current today, we are creating a bit of a scent trail as we move along. So if fish are actively roaming around down there and they catch a whiff of our bait, they can come lock in on it and come find it. So, you know, in situations like this, when you're dragging, your bait's actively moving. Your dragging sinker stirring up the bottom a little bit. I feel like those fish that you're getting, pretty active fish most of the time. Now maybe you bring that sinker right over their head, hit them with it, you get a reaction strike. That probably happens at some point, right? But most of these fish, I would assume, are pretty active. Like, they're actively feeding. So, you know, I feel like if you can get it in proximity to them, they're going to pick up on that scent and come chase it down in that situation. So I don't know. I catch a fair amount of fish without using planer boards. You know, I fish tournaments against guys that's all they do is run boards. I whoop their asses regularly in the tournaments without the need of planer boards. So I'm just not sold on them. I've tried them. I don't think it's very fun. I think it's the least fun way to catch a fish. And so maybe I'll change my mind on it someday. You know, if I was running live baits up near the surf, like if I was striper fishing, I'd be more inclined to use them just to put some distance between your live baits, keep lines from getting crossed and stuff. But yeah, you all know me. I don't care nothing about them damn old. I don't care nothing about the planer boards or the planer board fishermen. Let me tell you the story, though. I mentioned it there about the air conditioner. I had a good experience. I had a bad experience that turned into a good experience. Hold on, I gotta get my shades too. Bear with me a second. That sun is burning through the fog enough now that it's getting brighter out here. I gotta protect the old winter tents here. So I told a story, one recent video, I can't remember which. It was last month. I had my AC, it was 90-something degrees, miserable hot day, a weekend, and my air conditioning unit went out. Quit working. It was on, but it wasn't blowing air. And it was hot. It was a weekend. And so I had to call, you know, I don't know nothing about repair and stuff like that. Like that's above my skill set. Hold on, I was trying, if we got one on here? I think we do. We do. We got another one on the dragging ring. Oh, he just come free. He come free, but the other one over here took off. That one's pulling. I heard line stripping while I was dealing with the other one. Here we go. This one is solidly hooked up. I don't think that other one was very big. It was on the white bass rig over there, so it's probably still good. That white bass is tough. It's hard to rip off a hook. was this fish number 3 on this one skipjack head? We'll definitely switch it out after this, but this one was, I heard him pulling line while I was checking the other. You know what I kind of want to do? I kind of want to reel up one of these suspend fishing rigs, cut the sinker off, tie a balloon on, and run it behind us too, just a few feet under the surface. Clearly the suspend, and this is 5 fish now. We've had 1 tap on the suspend rigs up front that are near bottom. I think we maybe need to reel one of them up and run a balloon rig off the back, just to try it. This is another fish right here, though. It feels pretty good. He feels like he's going to be a solid fish. It's tough to kind of gauge because I'm fighting the fish, but the kayak too it's actively moving forward. So you've gotten a little bit more resistance because of that. And you know what? We didn't need no damn planer board to hook this fish, did we? Didn't need a planer board and 10 rods to catch catfish today. Can run 2 right off the back and catch you plenty. Plenty enough to keep me entertained anyway. Okay, he's come up back here. Yeah, that's another. He's a larger dink, smaller fun size. He's not as big as I thought he was going to be. He felt a little bigger as I was fighting him along there. He's not a bad fish, but I think he's a smaller fun size. We're definitely going to switch out that head bait though. Fish, what have you done right there with our leader? He's got the fly all wrapped up around it. Open up that mouth. Well, just come on in, why don't you? Yeah, this one here, I mean, he's one of the smaller fun sizers that we've gotten thus far. Not going to measure to some of the others, but I mean, he's quality fish. I'm just going to hold him out like that because I want to get another head bait and put on. But I mean, that's a solid fish. Okay. I mean, our head bait here, I mean, it could be reused, folks. It honestly could be. But we're going to just go ahead and switch it. I don't want to. I'm going to give him a free meal there, tossing that overboard. I don't want to use it again here when we've got others. Okay. Where are we at here? That's a lot of fish in a little over an hour. Maybe we're finally turning the corner here and getting on this in this post-spawn bite. It's finally maybe happening. Been long overdue. Timing's been just a smidge off, but I'm feeling better about it today. We finally, I told you, man, take your swings, take your daggone swings, and eventually you're gonna hit one out the park. At least get you a base hit anyway. There goes that. I'll tell you what I want to do. I think I do want to just go ahead and reel in one of these. I think we'll keep on, this was the one we had our white bass head on, wasn't it? On this rod? I think so. Let's just reel this one up. We'll cut the sinker off, tie a balloon on, and then throw it behind us, and we'll just see what's going on, if there's any fish up near the surface of the water. I don't know if there will be or not, but here's what we know to be fact at this point. An hour into the trip, 5 fish caught, none of which are on this rig. All right, so we know today apparently just isn't the day for this particular technique. So we have the opportunity to switch it up. Let's do it. I'll show you how I tie on this balloon rig here in a second. Let me get this leader tied back on. I just do a little clinch knot, trilene knot, I don't know what the hell it's called. I've done it for years, it works. Okay. Now, for your balloons, and I use balloons instead of floats. You can use whichever, it don't matter. You're just floating your bait near the water surface. So whether you use a balloon, a float, who cares? It serves the same purpose. I prefer the balloons because they're cheap, they're compact, and don't take up any space here in the kayak. And you know, $1 pack of balloons lasts me a couple years. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little air in this thing. Get it right there, maybe baseball size. I'm gonna come above my main line, and I'm just gonna tie an overhand knot around that main line. Easy peasy. Now this balloon, with a little bit of tension, a little bit of pressure, will slide up your line, and you can adjust it to whatever distance you want. And this one we're gonna run, is that maybe 3 foot? Maybe 3 foot. We might go a little deeper than that. Do it maybe 6 foot. Run this maybe 6 foot. And I'm just gonna toss this out here behind us, kind of between our back 2 lines. And we'll have to manually let out some line here as we go along, because that balloon don't weigh nothing. Flip the bail over there on our other skipjack head ring. And we're gonna run this thing 30 yards maybe behind us, not too far. And as we move along, our dragging baits will be on near bottom. This balloon rig will be back here. We'll have that cut bait and that fly 5-6 feet deep under the surface, and we'll hit the upper water column and the lower at the same time. And we'll leave our other suspend rig out near bottom. Boy, something splashed over here right beside us, man. Might have been one of them paddlefish. First thing in the morning, if you're looking the right direction, you'll see them paddlefish come up and breach the surface, and it's huge splashes, because some of them things, 7,500 pounds. I mean, they're huge. I don't know why they do that, but they do. It's a morning time thing in the summer months. Okay. So we're gonna put that in our back rod holder here. So we've got that basically between our 2 dragging rods. And you can see this rod right here getting hit. What you can see. Is he hooked up? I think he is. That balloon rig though, if you're fishing somewhere that's got a thermocline especially, where fish might be out, they might be over 30 feet of water, 50 feet of water, but they might be 6 feet down. 10 feet down under the surface. That balloon rig is money. Hoover Reservoir up there in Ohio, prime example. I caught several fish last year and this year up there on the balloon rig, fishing a few feet deep out over 20, 25 feet of water. Because those fish, when there's a thermocline in place, they will be up. They'll be over deep water, but they'll be up in the water column. And that's a good rig to take advantage of those kind of fish. Now, out here on Tennessee River, I've caught some fish doing this, the balloon rig. And where that rig really excels around here is in the backwater creeks when you're fishing shallow anyway, but you don't necessarily want to drag because of all the debris on bottom. That balloon rig will go right over the top of it, whereas the dragging sinkers and stuff will oftentimes get caught in that debris. But out here, we don't have a thermocline. We get enough current flow in the afternoons. We don't have any thermocline issues. So don't typically get as many fish out in open water on that balloon rig, but you do still get some. So we're gonna try it today. Yeah, it's a smaller one right here. You know what I think I may do? I kind of want to, they've been hitting that skipjack head, man. I kind of want to try a white bass head on the dragging rig and see what they'll do for it. There goes my sinker. Let me stick it in this hatch right quick. That thing will be rolling around driving us crazy. Okay. Okay. There we go. Whole blue kitty there. Glad to have you. See you later, blue kitty. Let's just switch this bait out for that head. It still looks okay. I may actually stick that one back in the cooler. But this looks a lot better, don't it? I love me some head baits. I'm gonna take them. There. Close my cooler. There we go. Next bait going out. Get that mess off the hook point. White bass head. Just start letting out some line on it. As I got my line around the dang rod tip, there we go. Okay, folks, I feel like we're in good shape now. Still got 4 lines out. Have we got a fish on this, or am I pulling through something? What's going on here? If this is a fish, he ain't fighting. It almost feels like I'm pulling something up. We got something on here. I don't know what he is, though. If it's a fish, he's dead weight. I gotta pull up that suspend line a little bit. We're 52 feet here. I think this is a fish. He must be either foul hooked or just, okay, I feel him now. It is a fish. I never felt him hit. I looked back and saw the dang rod had weight on it. Was this 6, fish number 6 or 7? I want to see what this thing is when we get him up here. He's on that head. I mean, it's got to be at least a big enough fish to eat the head bait. He's starting to feel a little better now that he's actually fighting. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this fish to begin with. He's just lazy, I reckon. He said he's had a long spawn. He's over it, man. He's ready to take him a break. He said his work's done. He's on vacation. I mean, he really feels like a pretty good fish right now. Y'all bear with me. I'm sniffling out here. It's summertime. I'm still got the snots. Goodness, man, he's fighting. I'm curious to get a look at this dang thing. I can't get this camera adjusted, y'all. There we go. Golly bum, this is a good fish. This is the biggest one of the morning by a mile. This is a really good fish right here. Oh, y'all, it's a flathead. Here I did, just talking them up, how you don't catch no flatheads on dragging rigs, and we just got one. That's why it was a funny bite. He was sitting there with it, didn't even know. That makes total sense now. Flip that other bail over. I'll be damned, y'all. I'll be damned. I just talked about, first thing, how you don't catch no flatheads dragging hardly. And I just made myself a liar again. This flathead here, he can make me a liar anytime. It's a pretty good fish. Pretty good flathead right here. I want to get hold of him. Can't see how he's hooked right now. Okay, buddy, come here. Come here before you pop free or something. Nice, y'all. Nice. Nice flathead. I'm happy with this. I am happy with this. Heck yes. Oh, buddy, we got us one, man. I knew I wanted a flathead today. I've been wanting one bad. We just got one. Yes, look at that thing. On the dragging rig. Oh, man. I didn't think we would get one dragging because, man, it's been forever since I've got a flathead dragging. I thought for sure we would get one suspended today if we got one. Boy, was I wrong in a good way. Y'all sit up here a minute. I got a snot running out my nose. I'm gonna hold this thing up, man. Yes. Yes, y'all. What a welcome sight. Oh man, I've been missing these things. We're having us a good day out here, y'all. This is a good day. Nice. Oh. I am happy for you, flathead. That makes total sense because that rod it had weight on it. Never felt him bite. It happens all the time with flatheads. Just don't happen on the dragging rigs. All right, let's get y'all up here. I'm gonna let y'all release this fish. You let him go for me, okay? That something's popping right there. We'll see you, buddy. You are the bee's knees. Oh, yes, y'all. That one's fist pump worthy for sure. Yes. Man, that's awesome. On the dragging rig. Let's fix this one real quick. Let's see where we're at depth-wise. We're at 52 feet here. Yeah. That fish, when he started fighting, it kept feeling bigger. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. We got this rod here. That white bass head, something was after it. He hit it. He's gone now. Let me see y'all's screen. Y'all got any? You got water droplets up here. Let me clean your face off, Lord Almighty. I gotta do everything for you. I'll let out some more line on this one on the left. Don't let me forget to flip that bail over in my excitement. What a nice surprise. I'd hoped we would get flatheads, but didn't think it would be that way. Meanwhile, those suspend rigs, they just, I mean, they're just not having it. They are not having it. Something about that dragging rig, something about maybe whether it's suspended or it's dragging. The dragging rigs, the baits aren't dragging. The sinker's dragging. The bait is on that float, so it's up off the bottom. So whether it's a suspend rig or dragging rig, the bait itself is up off the bottom. We'll flip that bail over now. But that dragging sinker, as it pulls along, it's stirring up the bottom down there. It's creating a dust trail in addition to the scent trail. Maybe that's having something to do with it. Our balloon, man, do you see that line back there? I didn't feel him, but I heard him, and there was a splash right there by that balloon. It's an active morning right now. It's gone now. I think something might have hit that balloon. If it didn't, it splashed awful close to it. We're liable to hook a monster out here today, y'all. Fish are this active. If we put our baits in front of a big one, and I know the fish we've got thus far have been kind of skinny, right? They've been spawned out. But those female fish, they've not been on the nest all summer. They go in, drop their eggs, they leave. So we put our baits in front of a big female, we're liable to get a monster today. Today could be the day, folks. Either way, we're getting some fish, we're getting some active fish. We got us a flathead now. I'm going home happy today, but we're going to hopefully get us several more in the meantime. Whatever happens from here is just a bonus. I don't know if y'all are, I'm having a good time. What was I talking about before all the madness started? I may have to pull out my car. Here's something I'm gonna start doing, y'all. I don't know why I haven't done this before. Why it took me so long to think about it. It didn't take that fish long to think about it, did it? He was tugging on it. I still think he's after it. It hit it. But now I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Because half the time I feel like I get started on a story and then a fish hits and I forget to finish the story. Is he back after it again? Is this another situation like with the flathead where he's on and we don't really know what's up? Yeah, he is. He is on. I don't think this one. He's on. I don't think this one's going to be very big. I should have let y'all reel this one in. You can handle my light work today. I wonder if this one ain't on the fly, because he don't feel big at all, and I mean, it is a head bait out there. We'll see when we get him up. He's fighting a little harder now, but he still don't feel very big. I hope he didn't mess up our head bait. Good, that boat over there's leaving. Two boats on the water, and we're both in earshot of each other. It messes up my mojo telling y'all stories and stuff, because I want y'all to hear my stories. I don't want random bass fishermen on the water hearing my stories. Ain't none of their damn business. You know, here's the other thing. We've been letting more line out on this rod, and it's definitely getting hit more. I wonder if that's playing a role in it. It was one of them things I was kind of looking at today. Setting them at different depths and whatnot, or different distances, I mean. Yeah, he's bigger than I thought, but he's still not very big. Oh man, I think this fish has ate that hook kind of deep. Fish, what'd you go and do that for? Oh, don't splash me either. Let me take a look here, see if this is something we can do a little surgery on, or if I'm gonna have to add to the mortality rate. You talk about looking like a hypocrite today. Have the conversation I had with you, and then, oh Lord, and then gut hook a fish. Come here and act like somebody now. Come here. Now I got my stinger hook in my damn anchor trolley. There. Now I'm gonna have to bring him in. I can't see. I'm gonna have to get the camera out the way here too, because, well, hell, y'all got water all over the lens anyhow. That camera, I got it here at my chest, and so when I really have to like look down and see something, I can barely see over that thing. I like having y'all come fishing with me, but sometimes you just get in the way. Let's see where we're at here. I don't know if I can get it or not. I think it's going to be best if I cut it. Something was right over there beside us, wasn't it? I cut it. I'm gonna cut that fly off there too. It's very deep, and I think if I try to dig it out, I think we're gonna do more damage. I think his best chance of survival is just leave it be. Danged old fish. Think about what you've done today, fish. I hope he goes home and has a long conversation with himself about eating hooks that deep. I should have known though. I have a conversation with you about mortality rates and taking care of the fish. I leave a fish sitting here a couple minutes in the floor while I reel in another one. Now we've gut hooked one. I'll never hear the end of it in the comment box, folks. I'll never hear the end of it. I'm just giving my haters so much ammunition. That's how it goes. Well, let's get us another dragging rig. And I actually don't know if I have any more dragging rigs with, oh, this one's a big takedown. Big takedown. I guess we'll be holding off a second on tying on another rig because this fish couldn't wait. Nice takedown. I heard the line pulling. First one on the white bass head. He feels good too. This one feels real good. Man. Y'all, what an active morning so far. Old bass fisherman man over there, he ain't caught a damn thing. I didn't see him catch nothing anyhow. Oh, that was a big splash right there too. I wonder if that was packfish. If any of those big splashes happen to be cats, we do have that bait under the balloon right there just waiting on them. This feels like a good fish, man. I think this one's going to be what we want right here. Take my time with him. That's about all you can do. Just take your time. Been waiting on a day like this. The last few catfishing trips kind of been duds. But making up for it today. Kept showing up, kept putting our time in. You log enough hours on good structure, fishing how you need to, good things happen. My confidence was waning this morning, but I'm pretty full of myself right now. Come on, fish. I want to get you up here and get you a look at you now. think at some point here in the near future, next couple months, I'm gonna be switching kayaks. And when I'm dragging, I'll be facing off the back. And so instead of this way with us kind of facing sideways and pulling at an odd angle, I'll be facing the fish and make it a little bit more ergonomic, a little bit more comfortable. I gotta tell that story too. I got a lot to, you know what I was about to tell you is that, and I don't know why I hadn't done this from the start, but I'm gonna start putting me a note card in the kayak. So if there's something I want to tell you all and I get distracted because I'm reeling in fish and get halfway through a story, I can refer to a note card and be like, oh, I was going to talk about that today. And, you know, I don't know why the hell why I didn't do that from the start, like make notes for myself. That just seems like a smart thing to do. If I could get y'all to conversate back, I wouldn't have to do that. But anyway, got me a note card system now. Way I can just put little reminders like, oh, I was going to talk about this or talk about that. And I think it's brilliant. Y'all may not think, y'all may think it's stupid. I think it's pretty smart. Okay, yes, big fish. Big fish right here, blue cat. Big blue cat. Oh, he's dark too. Look how dark that thing is. Oh, he's almost black. I'm gonna play him out just here just a smidge more because he's still, this is a good fish right here. This is the biggest one of the day so far. We don't have any baits dragging right now because my other rig's out of commission. Oh man. That is a good fish. Oh. Here's what I want to do right fast. I want to just, while he tires himself out, let's set him back in the rod holder a second. Let's get us another, let's try to work efficiently here. Let's get another dragging rig on. And that way we can go ahead and get another bait out. This one don't have a fly on it, that's okay. We ain't catching nothing on the flies on the dragging rigs today anyway. I just got a feeling we're pulling by other potentially big fish and don't have a bait down there to catch them with. So let's do as quick as we can. Again, if y'all would help me out just one daggone day, you could have had this thing retied. Worst partners ever. I still like him, so I ain't gonna let you forget about it though. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna remind you every chance I get that you ain't done a thing to lift a finger for me in this kayak today. All these fish caught, rigs need retied, baits need to be cut, and y'all just, wherever you're at out there in internet land, feet up on the couch. Some of you's probably sound asleep right now while I'm reeling all these fish. I wouldn't be shocked at all if you sound asleep. Okay, let's get a skippy. Oh, Skippy. Glad to have you, Skippy. I'm gonna go ahead, get this out, and we'll land our big one over here. He's almost black though, man. He's like a almost solid black fish. I don't know if it's just a pigment thing or if he's just been up super shallow for so long, getting him a suntan, who knows. Let's clip our, I'll do my dragging sinkers here with these quick clips. And so I can stick them on the sinker or the swivel very quickly. All right, same rig as we've had on, just minus the fly. Let's start letting some line out on this. Let's throw our skipjack back here in the cooler. Now, main event time, y'all. Main event. Let's get our big kitty over here. Here, I'm gonna put y'all back in the front seat while I get this big fish. The sun's work through the haze. We may actually get a good picture with this thing. Let me get that screen on so I can see. Oh, I'll be damned. I'll be damned. We got one on the suspend rig. Miracles never cease. Miracles never cease, y'all. It happened. Good thing we wasn't only suspend fishing today. We'd done be irritated. It's what we'd be with the lack of action. We'll get this one up to the surface. I ain't too concerned about getting the suspend fishing rig back down quickly since it's done nothing for us anyway before this. But I do want to get this fish landed and get that bait going back out. This one's another fun sizer right here. Let's set him right there. I want to let out just a little bit more line on this one. Let me bring this one in. Remind me to flip that bail over. Okay. Y'all, this is a good fish. He is almost black. Holy cow. This is awesome. Come on in, kitty. That's a good one, buddy. That's a dang good fish. Oh man, let's flip that bail over. Oh my gosh, y'all, this fish is so cool. I caught one a few years ago that was a big fish and it was almost black. Here's what I want to do. Hang on there a minute, kitty. Hang on, man. I want to rehook this bait and get it going out. He's just tore the mouth up on this one side. We'll get it run through the other side there. We got that other fish up front here on the suspend ring. Okay. Look at this first. Look at his belly. Hell, his whole belly's black. Nice, man. Oh, man, this is awesome, y'all. This is so freaking cool. Oh, yes. Oh, it's awesome. And he's got a bifurcated whisker there. You see that? How cool is that, man? Oh. You don't catch them like this every day, folks. That is a cool fish. And he's got the bifurcated whisker. What are the odds? Man, he's heavy too. This is easily the biggest one of the morning right here. That's a good one. How cool is that? All right, buddy, you ready to go home? They say he won't come up here to begin with. We'll see ya. Yes, y'all, that one is fist pump worthy for sure. Man. Oh. All right, we still got our line going back out on that one. Let's land our, we slime me up good. Let's land our little fun sizer here. Finally got the dang suspend rig today. I'm telling you, it's useless out here. Before this fish anyway. Oh, Lord. I could have done without that. And that too. Come on, get in here now before you fling that bait off. We're gonna reuse that thing. Hell ain't nothing. It's been down there a while. And in this water temperature, like it's gonna bleed out quick. There he is. Get on there. There's your moment of fame, fish. That's all you getting. But nothing's touched it before that fish, like nothing. So I think we'll just reuse it. At this point, I would rather save our other baits for the dragging rigs because it's outperforming so much better than the suspend fishing. So we'll send it back down. If y'all wanted a different bait put on, you should have done had it cut and put on there while I was dealing with the big mama. It's y'all's fault then, by gosh. Oh man, y'all, what a day we're having. This is a good day. Good day. You know, again, out here kind of in the middle of the dang river channel. I mean, we're not following. I would gladly follow the contours. I prefer to do that as we got one back here. Here it goes. They're on it, man. They're on it. Oh, buddy. Let me get y'all here in the chest. I would rather follow. I got more confidence following the contours. But out here, there just ain't no contours to follow with the way the river is through here. Boy, I've had a good day though, man. I am having a real good day. My camera says it's overheated. Hopefully it's still filming. I fished with Daniel one day down there in Chattanooga, and I was trying out this cover on the camera. And this camera's overheated before. It's a DJI camera, but in the past when it's overheated, it keeps rolling. The footage keeps rolling. You just can't access the screen anymore. But that day with Daniel, I was using this cover over it, trying to get better audio, wind protection from the audio, because I wasn't using an external mic on him that day. And the camera overheated and like completely shut off. Oh, I flipped that bail over there. We let out a lot of line on that one. Y'all let me forget. So this camera will fry to the point that it will stop filming. I hope we're not having that happen today. Either way, man, we're killing it out here. We are killing it today. Good problem to have. Needed a day like this. I needed it in a bad way. Oh, there goes our balloon now. Something was after it. Did you see that? Something tugged on it a little bit. Gave it the old rub and tug over there. This fish better not have gut hooked himself or threw our bait off. He's good. Fun size. We're gonna get rid of this fish quick. I wanna get that bait back. Now that we know for sure there's some big mamas in this area, I want to get it back down there quickly. I don't want to spend too much time with this fish. Normally I'd give him a little front camera time. He's big enough to justify it. But unfortunately for you fish, we've done caught several your size, and I want that bait back down there. Bait's still in good shape too. He didn't tear it up real bad. Give me that hook. He wants him a souvenir. His other friend took him a souvenir, by God. All right. If the camera's still rolling, there you go. I gotta get this bait back down though. Just make sure it's hooked okay. It looks good. I'll start letting that line. Oh man, y'all. It's been one after another up through here. Took, what, it take 30 minutes to get our first fish, and then since then it's been pretty much consistent, just one after another after another. Don't matter if we're using white bass head or skipjack head. Look right here. I'll be damned now on the white bass head. The bait doesn't matter. Distance of line behind the kayak don't seem to matter. It's just, I think this fish let it go. My line feels funny though. I'm gonna go ahead and reel it in because I think I think the bait may be messed up. But it ain't matter. We're getting fish on both rods, both baits. The only thing that does matter is suspending versus dragging. And it's a good thing we were doing both today. If we had had some current flow and I could drift, I would have suspended only. It looks okay. I don't know. It felt weird to me reeling it in, but I guess I'm just imagining things. Okay, let's get them both back out there. What a good day. What a good day. I can't believe how dark that fish was. I mean, he was just damn near black. I caught one like that. I mean, I've caught dark fish before, but I caught one that was a big fish. It's been 2 or 3 years for sure. But yeah, you just don't catch them like that. Not around here anyway. I mean, I guess some places are probably more prone to that than others. Is that thunder? Did y'all hear that? Am I imagining that? Surely that wasn't thunder. We're gonna pretend we didn't hear that. We can't be getting stormed on here, y'all. We got fish to catch today, man. We ain't got time for no thunder. And I ain't got no umbrella. I ain't got no rain suit with me. Folks, I'm unprepared for foul weather. And we're a long ways from the car. So I'm gonna need y'all to tell Mother Nature, get her act together, because ain't nobody got time for this today. Oh my gosh, that is thunder, y'all. That is thunder. Hold on a second here. Let me get my phone. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. I do not want to get run off the water today. Oh yeah. Folks, we're about to get hit. That sucks. That sucks. We're gonna get hit. We're too far, I mean, we're just gonna have to own it because we're too far away from the car. Even if I reeled up right now, like, flip that other, well, we need to let out more line on that. I mean, if it starts lightning around us, we'll make a run over here to one of these docks, but we're too far to make it to the car. Like, it wasn't supposed to do this today. I mean, I ain't got no rain jacket. I've been losing so much time lately because of the weather. Daggone, man. I hope it goes around or something, or dissipates. We're just gonna have to roll with it. Like I said, we can't make it to the car, and we're on a damn good bite. I don't want to ruin this, man. I don't want to. Man. But sure enough, that was thunder. All right, let's flip that bail over now. Good luck here. Good luck fishing. Good luck with the air conditioning. That's the story I was going to tell you. Let me tell you this story before Mother Nature pounds us with rain here in a minute. So I told this story recently. My air conditioning unit tore up. It was a weekend. And it was on, but it wasn't blowing air, right? And it's hot. I mean, it's miserable. So I had to call. And I called Pipe Wrench Plumbing. And I thought the balloon was getting hit or something. I called them. They come out and fixed it. It was a damn capacitor, right? And so it cost an arm and a leg because, you know, that capacitor is a $20 part, but you got to have somebody put it in, so there's labor, and it was a weekend, so you pay a surcharge for that. It was ridiculous. It cost a lot of money. Whatever. Well, last week, I noticed the house getting hot again. And once again, the air conditioning unit's on, but it's not blowing air. So I call them back, and I'm like, hey, same problem before. It didn't fix it apparently. Didn't fix it for long. And so they come back, and to their credit, they come back out. They were there within an hour. And I forget what the guy called it that he thought was wrong with it. But anyway, he explains, like, I think this was my fault. There was some part I guess he had to loosen to change a capacitor or something. And he said it was the same guy that had fixed it before that had come back out this time. And he said, I remember specifically that part not being loose the first time I was out here, and it was today. And so he thought that he messed it up. And so, I guess it caused me to lose some Freon, whatever that stuff, the cold stuff, whatever. So he fixed it, filled it up with whatever that stuff is, and didn't charge me a dime. And I thought, you know what, that's pretty damn good service. Because in 2024, you know how it is, nobody takes responsibility for anything anymore. And so for this guy to come out, you know, it sucks, obviously have to call him back out. But I think most companies, they would have come out and said, oh yeah, well, we fixed that other problem last time, but now you've got this going on, and they would have hit me with more fees and stuff. You know they would have. That's how it is today. So for this guy to take responsibility for his mistake and to fix it free of charge, I thought it spoke very highly of him and the company. Like, because you don't see that in 2024. So I thought, you know, that's a really good customer service experience. And I felt, you know, again, I felt like I got kind of lucky that I got that same guy come back out again, because if I got somebody else come out, they would have probably charged me for whatever. Oh, fish. But that particular guy, again, he just, whatever that part was, he told me, I forgot. I'm not mechanically inclined enough to know anything about this stuff. But whatever it was, again, he said that he specifically remembered before it wasn't loose and now it was, and he thought it was him. And so I just thought that was really, really good. And so I hope he didn't get in trouble, because he said he had called his boss, you know, to ask him if he could go ahead and do all that stuff free of charge or whatever. And of course they gave him the okay, but I'm like, I hope he don't get in trouble, because people make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes on their job. Nobody's perfect. People on the interweb, they like to talk like they are. Nobody's perfect. Everybody screws up from time to time. To me, what's important is when you screw up, you own it. Take responsibility for it, and you make things right. And this guy done that, and so I hope he didn't get in trouble for it. But yeah, it was a good customer service experience. I don't know how we got on that today with the air conditioning thing. That story's on my note card though. So we would have got to it eventually. This fish has choked this head. He's a small one. Fish, at this point, I just want big ones. I don't, if we're about to get run off the water here for a storm, I don't want to. I know beggars can't be choosers, and there's a lot of days where I can't find a fish this big. But today ain't one of them days. Oh, give me that thing back. There we go. I'm taking that head bait back. You old fish. Get out of here. There he goes. Yeah, bait's a little chewed up, but you can see there, I mean, there's still some blood right there on it. We just got to rehook it here. Get that slime off there. Get that off there. Old nastiness. I hope that storm goes around. I don't want to get lightning on. I don't want to get wet. And I don't want to have to leave the water. I wouldn't mind it being a little cooler out here. That sun could go behind a cloud. That wouldn't hurt my feelings. Let me get my phone again. I want to see which, I didn't look like a future thing. It was around us, but I didn't look to see which direction it's going per se. Okay, let's fast forward. Oh hell, it's coming right at us. Oh, 30 minutes away from the heavy rain, looks like. We could make it back to the car. Oh, we could make it back to the car in 30 minutes. I don't want to make it back to the car. We're catching fish out here, man. Oh, I'm in a dilemma here, y'all. It's amazing though. Like we're going to catch another fish. We can't go back to the car. My gosh, we're catching them all the way up through here. This is the day I've been waiting on. It's taken a long time to get to this point, but we've been waiting on it. Man. We went through 2 or 3 weeks where it was just super dry. Like, I mean, hot and dry. You couldn't buy a drop of rain. My yard was brown, like it was completely dead. And now, the last couple weeks, every day it's raining. It just won't stop. I keep getting knocked out of going fishing all the time because of the rain. Come on, fishy. He feels like a pretty good one. Oh, we got one. Oh, suspending rod. He's up there by my prop. Get out of that prop, fish. What the hell are you thinking? We gotta put the other one back, get control of this one. This fish was going right, he was swimming right for my prop. That's all we need. These fish have got it in for me. If it ain't y'all having it in for me or Mother Nature, it's the fish today. Let's get him up here. He ain't gonna be very big, I don't think. Get him under control and we'll pick back up on the other one that does feel pretty good. Yeah, fun sizer, smaller fun size. Okay, let's get back on this one. Had to pause the action on this one to keep a line from getting in the prop of the motor. As he splashes water all over my back. That's okay, because when this rain hits, we're gonna get drenched anyway. If that storm holds up and yellow and red as it's future casted to do on the old Doppler, we're gonna get drenched anyhow. I can't tell where this fish is at. Okay. He's under that balloon rig. He's way back there too. I think, you know what I think's happened with this fish? I think he is foul hooked. And that's why he's feeling good. Because I'm literally pulling him in sideways right now. He is not nearly as big as what I thought he was. That's disappointing. And he's gonna get all up in our balloon rig. Oh, he's all in our balloon rig. That's all right. Our luck's just trying to turn on us. We were having such good luck. Karma, you know, yin and yang, things balance out. So our luck was going too good with catching all these fish, getting big fish and whatnot. So we're going to get hit with a storm and we're going to tangle up all our lines. That's how it's going to be, apparently. Man. I don't know why the hell we're pulling him in sideways. Have we legitimately got him foul hooked, like as this other fish splashes water all over my back again? I think we've legitimately got this damn thing foul hooked somehow. We were literally towing him in sideways. Gosh, mighty. What have you done, fish? Every time you think you've seen and done it all, folks, something else happens. Something else. Okay, good. He just come free. He tangled up all our lines, took half an hour to reel in, and then just pops free. Let's throw our balloon back out there. We need another. I kind of want to, black bass head's ruined. I kind of want to try another chunk out there. Oh man, it's starting to rain. Look at our balloon. Has something got that? It's swimming. That balloon's swimming. Something ate our balloon right here behind us. I had got it undone from the fish. Unless it's that same fish. Did he come out of one line and get himself foul hooked in the other? This is the dumbest fish on the face of the planet. No, this is a different fish. This is a different one here. This is a different one. He's dark. It's another, I mean, almost black fish. Way smaller than the big one, of course, but. Well, here comes the boats now. Everybody's running from the storm. They're heading home. We're the only dummies staying out here. Oh, Lord. There went our bait. Come on in. Oh, Lord. Oh, he just flipped back out the damn kayak, y'all. We got fish all up everywhere. Everybody's gonna see us catching fish here. They'll be camped out on this spot. Gosh almighty, y'all. We're gonna get drenched, man. I've got no rain jacket. I've got nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is what it is. Is that right, fish? The old dark thing, another dark one. Here's what I want to do first. We got stuff to do, man. We've got another fish to land. We need another bait on that. I'm gonna put the balloon rig up for now, just in case we have to make a run for it here in a minute. It'll be one less thing for us to, because if it starts lightning, I have to go. We'll just run over here to one of these docks. But what is that sound? What the hell is that sound? Sounds like static. Hope that don't mean we're about to get hit with lightning. Come on in here, fish. Come on in here. All these bass boats heading upriver, man. They're the smart ones. They're running for it, running from it. Our dumbass is out here about to get drenched. If I had a damn umbrella or a rain jacket, I wouldn't give a crap. I mean, other than light, can't do nothing with lightning, of course, but All right, fish. Oh, hell, he's wrapped up in a... Get out of that line. I've hooked him with the damn stinger. There he went. Let's put this rod up too. That rod's making a funny sound. I don't know what that is. That storm's coming though. I see the rain. You can see it down there behind us. It's coming. Oh, I'm torn on what to do. I do not want to get zapped. That's for damn sure. What should we do, y'all? I mean, the sun's still shining right there. What's they say when it's storming and the sun's shining, the devil's beating his wife or something? The old saying goes. Look, we about to catch another fish. That rod just got hit. Man, they are biting good. They're biting good ahead of the storm too. I don't know what to do. I'm really torn. If it was just rain, no big deal. I mean, it sucks, but it's no big deal. But that thunder. Here is one thing I got to do. Y'all may hear some ruffling for a second. I've got to do something with this microphone because it's going to be drenched. Camera, no problem. Microphone not good, get drenched. Oh shit. Dang, man, that storm's coming, buddy. Thunder's getting closer. Oh crap, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna be responsible. Oh, I can't believe this. I cannot believe this is happening. It was not supposed to do this morning. Let's reel this one in. I'm gonna run over here to this dock. We'll get over here. We'll take a look at radar again, see where this storm is at, how long it's gonna take to pass, and make a decision from there. I can't believe this, man. It sucks. We're on a damn good bite. I do not want to come off the water. But also, ain't no fish worth getting zapped over either. And it only takes one lightning bolt to end your life. I'm gonna run over here, y'all. Yeah, it's just, what can I say, buddy? What can I say? It's that's how it goes. Let's run over here, hang out, check radar. At least there's some docks over here close by. See if we can find one to get under. I think this one up here ain't got no boat in it. We should be okay, as long as we can fit under it with the rods. I think that one there's maybe got a boat lift or something. Dang, man. Yeah, that one's got a boat in it. I think this other one up here is empty, so we'll run up here, take a look at the radar, reevaluate the situation. Here's one positive thing out of this. It's going to be hotter than damn it today. This storm, this rain, will at least make us be more comfortable out here for a little while. You see, that's me, folks, always being positive. Positive Polly. I have never been called in my life. I am very pessimistic by nature, but I'm being positive right now. Yin and yang, man. We had some good luck with all the fish. We've had some bad luck with the weather and the tangles. Although the tangles have come out pretty easily. Really, it was the gut-hooked fish that was cost us some time. There may actually be a boat in that slip too, now that I'm looking at it. We may not have any place to get out of this mess. There might be some more bad luck. Yeah, my car though, I'm probably a mile away from the car, so it's not like we've got quick access to a vehicle. Like, I made a run this morning because I thought weather was going to be good, and it was first thing. It's been good for 2 hours here. That thunder though, I hear it in the background. It's coming. Let's just take a look here and see where we can hide at. Nothing else, I could probably just spot lock the kayak, and then I could get up under the dock or something. Hopefully none of these rich, highfalutin people would have a problem with me commandeering their dock for a few minutes. Hopefully this storm will pass quick, or not be, because sometimes you look at radar, and you look at it on one channel and it'll say one thing, you look at it on another and it'll say something else. So hopefully it's not going to be a long storm or very widespread. Oh, there's somebody else up under that dock there. Let's see. Crap. Let's keep going. There's some more around the corner here. Yeah, we'll run up here around the corner and see what we can do. If not, I'll get out up here under one of these docks and just leave the kayak on spot lock. Hopefully none of these rich, highfalutin people have a problem with it. You know, people are. There's some Karens in the world get upset with you, but as a fella bass fishing friend of mine, he was somewhere. He's one of them big tournaments. I can't remember which one now. It was a river tournament though. They were dealing with current. They'd put in one location, was taking out at another. Their kayaks and stuff, and he flipped his kayak. I think it was like early spring. The water was still real cold. It was water temps were cold. So he got his kayak over to the shore and got out of the water. He's cold. Pro moderator was with him, so you know they were over there able to get his stuff and everything. And so they got the car and was going to load up in this guy's yard that he had pulled up in on the riverbank. And dude comes out of the house and was like super pissed off that they were over there loading. Again, I mean, it's like pulling up on rocks and then the yard, you know, it wasn't a big deal to walk down, carry a kayak out. But this guy was like super pissed off at them that they were, you know, dare be on his property and whatnot. It's like, you know, dude, he just flipped his kayak, dangerous situation in that cold water. Like, let him get out on your property for a minute, you know? It's not like he's destroying anything. He's not tearing up anything. He's not stealing anything. He's just trying to get to safety. And dude was just being a prick about it. So, that's how some people are, man. And I ain't just necessarily calling out the rich people that live on the lakes and stuff doing that, but you know how it is. Like, if something happens, then the chances are you're going to be at a rich person's house, because you don't see no poor people living on the lake. I wonder if we couldn't get up right up under there. I think we might can get right up under there. It's technically the walkway of that dock, but I think we'll fit if I lay my back 2 rods down. I think we'll fit right up under there. My God, we're gonna try it. It's gonna be, well, it's super shallow over there. I don't know if we can actually. It's super shallow right there. It ain't very wide either. Yeah, that's not very wide. What the hell? Oh, that's one of them fish must have knocked my motor cords out of that's gonna drive me nuts listening to that crap. We'll get that here in a minute too. One of them fish must have knocked that cord up out of the water. This rain it's raining, but it ain't raining bad, and I ain't heard it thunder in a minute. It may be working around us possibly. Maybe we're gonna catch a break right here. Okay, right up here is a dock we can get under. Every one of these docks had somebody in except for that one, and there's a bass boat under it. He had pulled up under there. There's one of your pool noodles people have put out, noodlers. They've got a fish that's wrapped in a tree right there and got stuck. I wish they'd outlaw that stuff too, them juggers. That's another thing I can't stand. I think there's enough space up under this dock up here we can get up under. Probably still gonna get wet because the rain's blowing in, but at least maybe we can get out of the lightning if it's around. I can't believe this, man. I tell you, y'all come fishing with me, you don't know what's gonna happen. We could be catching fish, we could be catching turtles, we could be catching lightning. You never know day by day, man. You just gotta come along for the ride. That's fishing. That's how it goes. Yeah, we're gonna cozy up right in here. Right in here, folks. This is as good a spot as any. I'll put these rods behind us again because this dock is tall enough for us to, I wonder which side's best to get under here. Let's just pull up here. We'll pull that radar again. Take a look. We'll hit their dock. There we go, good enough. Okay. Well, folks, we're dry. We're going mayflies up there. We're dry for a second. Let's pull out the phone. I hear it thundering there in the background. I can operate this phone. My hands are wet. That took a long time to get up here too. Let's see what I can do. Failed to determine GPS location. Dang weather apps. Let's see where. Okay. I almost feel like we should have stayed out there no harder than it's raining and no more than it's thundering right now. All right, here we are. Y'all see that? At least the camera's cooled down. I think we're going to miss the bulk of it. Unless this one up here possibly hits us. Let's see, let's go fast forward. It's dissipating. We've come all this way for no damn good reason. Yeah, it's moving quickly. Dadgummit, man, we should have stayed out there. Why'd y'all talk me into this? I know you're gonna say, Justin, you should grow a pair and stay out there and fish in the storm. I swear it looked worse than that though, when we looked at it before. Let me look at one more. Let me look at one more thing here. Not that I don't trust WATE, but they're not always the best on Doppler radar. Okay. Well, this one don't have my GPS. Let me pull up WVLT. Dadgummit. Yeah, we got lightning all around us there. It don't show no rain on that though. Why is WVLT sucks? Okay, there's the rain. That's all the way to 1 o'clock though. Is it gonna storm all day? WVLT sucks. This one sucks. Don't use channel 8 if you come to Tennessee, folks. Let me pull up channel 6 again. Okay. Now this one says we're good after this round passes. Longer than what, at least for longer than what I'm going to be out here anyway. So I wasn't going to fish till about 11ish today. Gosh. What do you think? You think we ought to go back out there? It's barely thundered since we've been up under here. We know good and well though, if we go back out and it does thunder, there's nowhere to hide because Bass Boat Man's, he can run 80 miles an hour. He could have made it back to his car. I kind of want to run back down though where we were catching those fish and start from there versus just going back here where we're at and continuing on. There's it thundering now. I think it's getting farther away. Let's go back out. Let's go back out, folks. This is stupid. We should have never come up here. Trying to be all safe and stuff. We should have just rode it out. Sure as we had of though. Sure as we had to try to ride it out, we would have gotten not only drenched, but lightning going all around us. I got to get this right here. Hang on. Okay, there's our motor cord. All right, let's go. Mother Nature's just being a jerk today. Let's go down here. We'll go cut us some more baits, get back on the move. Maybe these fish are turning on here. Maybe there was a pressure change as the storm was moving up, and maybe that's what had them feeding. You never know. Sometimes they'll do that ahead of a storm. Sometimes they'll be feeding like that. It looks terrible over that direction, but I mean, you saw radar. Guess we can lose the sunglasses now at least. Sorry, y'all. I tried to be safe. Again, we're unedited, we're raw and uncut. Whatever happens, happens. So y'all come fishing with me out here on these trips. things go sideways, they go sideways. You're gonna see it, so it's just how it is. I gotta be smart, even though sometimes being smart makes me look dumb. Believe me, I did not want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to stop fishing right there, but I just kept hearing the thunder. I still hear the thunder off in the distance, but I think our luck is turning back now, and we're gonna miss the worst of it. We just got a little shower, got cooled off, you know. It was getting hot, so we cooled the air temperature off, we cooled our body temperature off, and now we're good. Ready to catch and fish again. Gave my arm a break. I can't get y'all to reel in any fish, so it just helped me get my arm a rest. Hey, I need to show you this though, while we travel back down through here. Check this out. You see this behind me here? Hey, the screen works, the camera's not overheated anymore. Look at that. This, folks, is a Yeti Rhodey 48 in Tennessee orange. Y'all know I'm a big Tennessee football fan. And I had mentioned this cooler back in February, March, I guess. It was before I went to Las Vegas. I had mentioned I had seen that UT Orange Yeti cooler up at Academy, a sporting goods store there in Knoxville. And it was before I went to that Vegas trip, and I was like, you know, if I hit the jackpot, like, I can't justify buying a $500 cooler when I already had another Yeti. But I'd wanted a bigger Yeti anyway. I'd ordered my other Yeti back in the day. It's the 35 size. And I got it, and I realized the back of this kayak, like, I could have gotten a bigger cooler. And you know how the Yetis are. Like, they're a thicker plastic cooler. They hold ice a long time. But the inside space of the cooler ain't very big. So you can't put a lot of bait in there. But anyway, I paid for that size 35. Nothing wrong with it, and these things are expensive, hard to justify. But I was like, you know, if I go out there to Vegas and I get on a heater there at the craps table, or I hit the Wheel of Fortune machine for a big jackpot, I get home, I'm gonna buy me one of them UT Orange Yeti coolers, you know, with the bigger size. And I'll be damned, my channel members, I got a channel membership on this, get some behind the scenes videos. I normally film around my house and stuff just to kind of give people a look at the life and times, whatever nonsense is going on at home and behind the camera and stuff. And some of my longtime channel members, the Loys, Will and Lynn, great people. They've done so much for me. When I won that last tournament up there at Hoover, next day I had a message from them that, congratulations, prize, they got me this dang cooler. They sent this thing to me. I couldn't believe it. So super nice of them. Thanks again, Will and Lynn, for hooking me up, but I love it. It fits back here. I eliminated my crate on this kayak. I used to have the crate, and then I had my Yeti 35 size behind the crate. I didn't have enough room to still have that crate here and this kayak, but I really didn't need the crate. The only thing I used the crate for was just basic storage and mainly rod holder storage. So what I done, let me turn around this way and I'll show you. I got one of these Amazon specials here, like a triple base that's made to go in these type of coolers. And I had to strap it on because it was too loose, but I put me some blocks right there to kind of wedge it and strapped it on. And so now I've got 3 rod holder spaces there on the side of the cooler. So I was able to eliminate that crate and still keep rod storage. And so it worked out. It really worked out perfect. So now I can store me even more bait in this thing. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Now I probably am, that's another story I was gonna touch on for note card purposes. I am gonna be probably switching kayaks here in the next couple months. This kayak, been talking about it for a while. Now, why am I holding this? I'm gonna put y'all can enjoy the view here as we move our way back down the river. I can't remember exactly now where we left off at down here. But anyway, I've talked about it for a few months. I like this kayak a lot. The open floor space I have here, I've got everything rigged how I want it. I like it. It's been a good kayak for me for several years. My biggest issue with this though, and this year it's really been a deal breaker for me, is that front hatch. Because I've put the motor up there, the bow mount, and because I've got the weight of that battery in the front hatch, when I'm in rough water, whether it's high winds, a storm blows up, a busy pleasure boat day with a lot of wakeboarders, if I'm plowing through waves, I get water over the bow and it ends up in the hatch. And I have got myself in some situations. I damn near sank this thing a few months ago when I got in a bad situation. So that front hatch is an incredible annoyance. And so I was holding out because I wanted to see, first off, there's nothing really on the market that I like that's a good replacement. If I'm going to get a different kayak, I want one without that front hatch, obviously, or at least that design of a front hatch. And I want one that I can spin around backwards. I've talked about that before. A lot of the guys are using 360 seats now. That way you can fish off the back of the kayak, and that's pretty cool if you're doing like we're doing today and we're dragging. So I can face the direction I'm reeling in from versus turning to the side. And also, when I'm just anchor fishing in the wintertime, and I'm on spot lock, for instance, spot lock's going to turn you into the wind. And so if you're facing the direction of your motor, that wind's blowing in your face, it's cold. I'd rather it be blowing into my back, and so I want a 360 seat. Well, right now, prior to ICAST, the only kayak that come readily available with a 360 seat was the NuCanoe. And longtime viewers know my feelings on NuCanoe. I think they're garbage kayaks. They're just very thin plastic, very inconsistent with the molds. And so I had a bad experience with them one time with a kayak we had gotten from my girlfriend several years ago. It was awful. The customer service experience I went through trying to get that resolved was awful. And I said, I don't ever want to do a NuCanoe again. So I don't want a NuCanoe. The other thing people are doing is they're taking like that Jackson Take 2 kayak, like Ryan Bort's my friend, he's got one. And they're basically doing a DIY job on the seat and making it 360. Well, I've known two people now that have the Jackson Take 2. Both of them have cracked the hull in the same place. Once is an accident, twice is a pattern. So I don't want to have a kayak that I'm going to risk cracking a hull on because of some manufacturer defect. And Ryan's had a hard time getting his warranted, so I don't want to deal with that. But anyway, ICAST comes out, and there's a couple different models that have hit the market now, or are going to be hitting the market, that were shown at ICAST. One is the Bonafide, and I've had several people pop into my comments asking my thoughts on it. And the other was the Wilderness Systems. I forget what the model name was, but it looks like a damn pond. Both of them look like a larger pond prowler that you get at Bass Pro. It's pond prowler with scupper holes. And at first, when I first looked, I don't like the Wilderness Systems kayak. I don't like the look of it. It's got them two front, that front hatch up front. I don't like the look of it. Maybe I changed my mind if I saw it in person. I don't like the look of it though. I don't think it's for me. The other one was the Bonafide. And immediately I watched the video of the Bonafide and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That damn thing's like a plastic John boat. It's huge. Because what they had done, when they filmed the walkthrough video, they had the kayak here and they had the dude talking about the kayak behind it. So you've got an optical illusion basically making that kayak look, I mean, it's a big, don't get me wrong, it's a huge kayak. Or small plastic boat, if you will. At what point do we stop calling these things kayaks? But regardless, it was an optical illusion they were creating because of the way he was positioned behind this already large boat. And so it made it look even bigger than it was. And then they announced the weight on this thing, 170 pounds. I'm like, kiss my ass, that's too much. But as I've seen some more videos on it, I think that's probably what I'm going to end up going with. This kayak here, I hate the weight of. It's 140 pounds before all the accessories go on. It's too damn heavy. So you've all heard me talk about this before. Like, if I'm using some backwoods launch, I use my pedal kayak because it's my Old Town, because it's so much lighter weight. I can just drag it wherever. If I gotta use a place that I don't have a boat ramp, I don't take this kayak. And so it really ain't a big deal having a kayak that's 30 pounds heavier with the Bonafide, because again, I'm not going to be launching it at backwoods type places. So I think I'm probably going to go with the Bonafide. It's supposed to come out in September. I would like to take a look at it first. I like how they've designed the front of it to shed water. I like how they've raised the front of it there to better accommodate the weight of the motor. It's actually designed to handle a bow mount, unlike this kayak where the people have made mounts for it, but it's not really designed to have that much weight up front. So I think that's probably what I'm going to go with. I'm torn on that, man. The perfect kayak doesn't exist. It just don't exist, man. Here's why it don't exist. And I'm going to blame you all for this, okay? I'm partially to blame because, I mean, I've jumped down the big kayak rabbit hole too. I've got a big kayak. I've put a bow mount, put motors on it. I've turned a simple, basic kayak into a small boat, essentially. So I'm as guilty as anybody. But one of the things we're going to start about right here, I think this is pretty close to where we left off, wasn't it? I think it was. I think this is pretty close. If not, we've been catching fish all the way up through here, so it won't matter. I'm gonna get us spun around, get our speed set. We'll cut some new baits. We'll just freshen everything up and get back on the move. I hate that we've wasted so much of our time here on this video. But that's fishing, man. Again, this is raw and uncut. This is unedited. Y'all are seeing everything like y'all out here with me, because y'all are out here with me. We're going through this crap together. Okay, I've set the course heading. I'm gonna put the cruise control. That's gonna put our speed at 1 mile an hour. Now from here, I can adjust it down in 0.1 mile an hour increments on my remote. So I just hit the remote 5 times. That should put us, we may have to tinker with it some more, but that should put us around 0.5 mile an hour, give or take. I'm gonna take, I think we're gonna try, let's get a white bass, let's get another white bass head. Let's do a white bass head and a skipjack chunk. Let's try a chunk out there, skipjack. But anyway, here's why these kayak manufacturers are making kayaks like this. The Bonafide, 170 pounds, huge. The Wilderness Systems, all that. Every time I get somebody in my comment box and they say something like, and I've had a million comments like this, they'll say something along the lines of, hey Justin, thinking about getting a new kayak, thinking about getting into kayak fishing, what's the most stable kayak on the market? Justin, of the kayaks you've had, what's the most stable? Or can you recommend some stable kayaks for me to check out? Everybody that's new to kayak fishing is so concerned with stability. And I went on a rant on this a few weeks ago in one of these videos, but it's like stability, you're going to adapt to the stability of your particular kayak. Like, the stability is one of the least concerns, really. As long as you're in a good quality kayak, like, you're going to be fine stability-wise. You will adapt to it. You know, if you go get a, what's them damn things called? Sun Dolphins, you know, one of them cheap Walmart Tractor Supply specials, you're going to have stability problems. But you get you a good quality fishing kayak, I don't care what the brand is, what the model is. Like, you're going you're going to be stable enough. You will adapt to the stability as you spend time in it and get used to it. And and when you go for super stable, you have to make compromises in other aspects. You're going to sacrifice speed. You're going to sacrifice weight. You're going to have to deal with more weight in a kayak. We just put that damn white bass on. I was going to put skipjack on. It don't matter. We're getting bit on everything. We'll roll with it. But anyway, you have to make those sacrifices. But everybody in my comment box just wants a stable kayak, the most stable kayak. So undoubtedly, the people that's in the Facebook group, social media groups, the people that's reaching out to these kayak manufacturers, what are they saying? We need a bigger kayak. We need something more stable. We need something that we can put a motor on the front. We need 2 motors on them. Some of these people are running more and more and more. And so the kayak industries are like, well, if this is what people want, this is what we got to give. This is how we're going to get sales. So they're catering to those people that don't know their elbows from their buttholes and what they want. And so what we end up with is the few companies that actually went to ICAST is making essentially small boats. Nobody is putting out actual kayaks anymore. And as somebody like me who got into kayak fishing because I genuinely enjoy kayak fishing, catching fish out of a small platform, it's discouraging, honestly. It's kind of discouraging. And I know I'm the pot calling the kettle black. I'm being hypocritical again. Because here I am, I'm in a huge kayak. And I put motors on before motors was cool, you know? And so I'm part of the problem. I'm a big part of the problem. But my favorite kayak to fish out of is my other one. My Old Town kayak, because it's a more narrow platform. When you get a big fish, you get spun around, the takedowns are bigger. Like, it's more, kayak fishing is more fun the smaller kayak you can fish out of. But with that said, I want one of each. I want my kayak like my Old Town that I use in a lot of these videos to have my fun with. I also want a larger platform that when I travel somewhere and I'm fishing big water and the weather's bad, I'm not going to sink the damn thing, like fears with this one. I want something that I can run a bigger motor on because, I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's where we flip this bail over. I'm gonna let that line out a little further on the other one. That's where we're at with the culture today and the tournament culture, is everybody now is running 24-volt motors in the tournaments. Those guys are running 6 and 7 miles an hour in their kayak to get to their spots. So if you don't have that, you are at a competitive disadvantage. And it's not affecting me in the tournaments right now. I mean, I've been doing well and I'm leading the Angler of the Year race. I got 2 wins on my resume in this tournament season. But as time goes on, man, it's just, I don't want to be at a disadvantage. Like, I want to have every tool at my disposal in a tournament. And so I think I'm going to end up getting probably that Bonafide. I'm probably going to go for the Power Pole motor when it comes out. Power Pole, and I can't believe this didn't get talked about. I didn't even see it. Of course, I didn't go to ICAST. Like, I got better stuff to do and go hang out with a bunch of salesmen for a weekend. But I watched some of the videos on the stuff. There was only one video that I found talking about this, but I thought it was the biggest thing for kayak fishing that came out of ICAST, and that was the motor that Power Pole is coming out with for kayaks. So they already have a motor for boats. And it's ridiculously expensive. Let's flip our other bail over. All right, we're back on the move here now, y'all. We got 2 baits in the water. We're fishing again. We're back in the game. I hope these fish are still wanting to play as it starts to rain again. We just can't get out of this rain. I thought it was past us. But power pole, there's one video on YouTube that I found about power pole. And what they're doing is they're taking that motor that they've got for bass boats right now, which is stupid expensive. I hope the kayak one isn't that high. It'd probably be more, truth be told, which is stupid, but nevertheless, what they're doing is they've taken their boat motor, changed the base of it to be more accommodating for kayaks. And so what you're going to have is a 36-inch shaft, just like the Motor Guide XO3 that I have up there now. But it's going to be a 36-volt motor. So that one up there is 12 volts, and it's 55-pound thrust. The power pole one is going to be 36 volts, and it's going to be 100-pound thrust. And they're saying they've run 14-foot kayaks that's getting 7 to 8 miles an hour. Plus, you're still going to have your spot lock and your course heading, cruise control, all those GPS features. And here's the best part of this. They say that motor, while it's bigger and more powerful, is going to be lighter weight than that version right there. So that's pretty awesome. So, it's probably going to be just ridiculously expensive. It's going to be stupid. But I'm probably, and they didn't have a release date, an official release date yet. They didn't have that as to when it's going to come out. But I would imagine if it don't come out this fall, it'll probably come out in the spring. So I'm probably going to go that route, because that Bonafide, even though it's heavy and wide, I mean, you got a 36-volt motor, that thing's going to fly. And so I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Another thing that I liked about the Bonafide, and I thought it was a pretty cool feature, was that it's got your floor here. And then imagine up here, these rails, if you had like a standing deck going over there. They have that on the Bonafide. And I thought, in the winter months, when I'm trying to tinker with that damn live scope and toss baits to fish, being able to stand up on that platform, that might be beneficial. Because here's something, and I don't know, a lot of y'all may not know about this. I'm going to kick back and relax here. Now that we're getting going here. The sun's going to pop out now as it's thundering off in the other direction. Devil's beating his wife again. Back in the winter months, I had done let me fix this microphone. Oh, crap. What did I do? Y'all, I've messed with I hope y'all are still hearing me. I hit something on the microphone. I hope it's still working. I still see the thing on the screen. What the hell did I do? There ain't no telling, man. It's always something with technology. I was trying to fix it where it wouldn't be under my thing. I hope y'all can hear me. Back in the winter, my channel members saw me experiment with something. I bought a 10-foot long kayak. It was an Old Town Sportsman 106. And I went with the 10-foot kayak for this project because what I wanted to do was I wanted to mount a hand steer trolling motor like you would typically put on the back of a John boat or something. I wanted to put that on the front of that kayak. And I wanted to be able to steer that motor, sitting in the kayak seat, steer that motor up there with a handle. And I wanted to have my live scope transducer on that motor so that when I move the motor, I'm also moving the live scope transducer. Now, I could put that live scope transducer up on that, but I'm going to be steering it with the remote, which isn't very responsive. I wanted something that I could follow a fish easily with, back and forth, with my hand and be able to toss a bait to them with the other. So I went with the 10-foot kayak because this kayak, for instance, is too long an area. You couldn't get a handle long enough to be able to set back here and steer that motor and be able to toss baits and stuff. Like, you needed to be closer to the front. Same thing with my other kayak, my Old Town pedal kayak. Like, it was just it was too long a distance to be able to put the longest handle I could get for that Minn Kota hand steer motor. It just wasn't gonna work. So I bought that 10-foot kayak, the Old Town Sportsman 106. I Jimmy rigged a mount on there, and I put that on. My channel members, they seen this. I filmed the videos there back in the winter of me playing with that setup there, the mount, getting on the water and whatnot. And unfortunately, it didn't work out because I was so, that kayak, the weight capacity of that kayak was a lot less than, say, one like this. But I was so far forward in that kayak that it was front heavy. And so I couldn't track very well. The back end of the kayak was always spinning around and stuff. Like it just didn't work out. The concept was there. Oh, we got a fish. Something was hitting me. But anyway, I think the concept was sound, but the execution was off. Well, I'm looking at that Bonafide. I'm watching some videos of people standing on that front deck platform, closer to the bow. And I'm like, you know, if I got my trolling motor battery in the back, and I got my bait cooler back there, loaded down with ice and bait, that in conjunction with the higher weight capacity of that Bonafide, I think there's a chance that I could stand up there closer to that bow with a hand steer motor with the live scope attached and be able to kind of follow fish. So I want to try it. Look right here, y'all. I'm gonna pick up on this rod. I think we might have a fish on here. We do. I knew that rod, he hit it, and the rod tip wasn't acting right. Notice another one here. The bite seems to have slowed. Of course, I don't know how long we've had baits back in the water now either. Danged old fish, man. We may have been on a bite as that storm was approaching, because it was clearly coming at us. We didn't even know till we heard the first boom of thunder. May have been a pressure change. Got them fish feeding, and now the storms are kind of working, thankfully, around us, but through, and it may be, our window may be over potentially. I don't know. I just hope we don't get stormed on. Oh, we got one on the fly here, folks. Old fly fish. He left her bait on. Nice of him. Thank you. Thank you for being kind and considerate there. Let's get all that slime off the line. And you want to just come on in? Come on in. He ate that fly, buddy. He got it right there in the mouth, in the jaw. If you'd open up, I'd get it out. Fish, I'm trying to help you. You don't care. This fish don't want to be helped. Boy, his mouth is rough too. He has got a very abrasive mouth. He's going to tear my finger up if you'd open up, I'd done have that damn thing out. There we go. Get on out of here. Here I was complimenting you on being considerate, and you wouldn't open your mouth. Okay. Let's start letting out some line on that again. So, anyhow, I kind of want to try that experiment again and do it in a kayak that's more weight capacity, that I can balance out the weight a little better and see how it goes. I'm curious. I just want to try it. So, channel members, y'all seen me try and fail at that other experiment. Round 2, hopefully go better. But I think I'm going to end up getting one of those and trying it out. I may regret it. I want to have one of each. Again, when I go to a tournament, I do not want to be at a competitive disadvantage because everybody else is running 24 volt, 36 volt motors. Because they've all got, most of them guys, hell, they're running 8 and 10 rods, planer boards. Like, I don't need planer boards to be competitive, but I do need to be able to cover water more quickly. Like, if I got to run from spot to spot, the time I have baits out of the water getting there, that's a big deal, you know, on like having that extra speed. I know going from 4 miles an hour in this one to 7 miles an hour, let's say, in another one with a bigger motor, like it don't seem like it's a big deal going 3 miles an hour faster, but when minutes count in a tournament, it adds up, you know. And so I just want to have access to both. But I'll be the first to admit, like I saw that kayak, and it was, part of it was just the optical illusion with how they had the video going with that kayak in front of the guy who, you know, that guy, I don't know him. He might be 5 foot tall. You know, I mean, that's going to make it look even bigger. But the kayak's apparently only 12 foot 9 inches long and 40 inches wide. So, I mean, it's about the size of a new canoe. It's probably, this kayak here is 13 foot 9 long and 38 inches wide. So as far as platform size, it's pretty comparable to what I'm in right now. It's just the layout's different, and it looked huge on that video. So I'm curious to see it in person. I'd like to get a look at it. I assume the extra weight of this thing is probably due to maybe it having thicker plastic. Probably has to for the support the motor and heavy batteries and stuff. That's been my biggest complaint with the new canoe is they've kind of got that open platform with the 360 seat, but they've just botched it on the plastic. It's too thin. Like it's way too thin of plastic. That's why you get all that hull flex and the floors bowing and stuff. Oh, I'm watching a fish over here to our left splashing, and this one's going down. We're hooked up again. Don't let me forget to flip that bail over on the other rod. I wish we'd just kept fishing earlier. We were on the fish, man. I mean, I'm thankful we didn't need to be under that dock. But at the same time, too, I wish we hadn't have wasted an hour, 30 minutes, however the hell long it was. We're making up for it, too. Bite ain't been as good since we got back out here, but we got this one. They don't feel too shabby. I sure hope when I accidentally hit that microphone button that I didn't mess it up. It went from a blue light to a green light, and I don't know what that means. It's probably something. All right, I flipped the bail over and the other one over here. Yeah, white bass head on this. It don't matter. It don't seem to have mattered today. Well, our biggest fish there came on the white bass. It's been more, as he pulls a little, oh, that's another big blue. It's been more of the technique today than it has been the actual bait. And I'm not going to put the other 2 rods out. Y'all, I don't want to do it because if we have to run again from the weather, it's just less to deal with. And these fish, they've only wanted the dragging baits today anyway. What do we get? 1 fish, 2 fish on the suspend rig? So, I mean, these 2 rods, boy, he's pulling now. These 2 rods here, dragging's all we need today. It's good we put the other ones out to begin with, because, I mean, oh, that's a good fish. It's good we had them out, because it could have been the other direction. You know, it could have been a fish hitting suspend rig and nothing on the dragon. Like, that happens too. Every day is a new puzzle. But running them both, we were able to very quickly figure out what these fish wanted. And we've had us a good day out here, other than a little bit of bad luck with the weather and tangles. I'm gonna go home happy today, man. Even if our day gets railroaded by weather, I'm still, with the fish we've caught, especially that big one, the big black one, like, I'm gonna be happy. And this right here is no slouch. This one right here is a pretty good fish, man. I'll give him some front camera time if he'll take it. Got big ugly mouth in him. He said, I'm rude. He said I shouldn't talk about him like that. How's that lens? Y'all got water droplets all over the lens. You just have to deal with it. There you go. Nice, another fun sizer. We've had several fun sizers today. I've lost count of how many fish we've got to this point. Whatever number it is, it's pretty damn good considering they've come on 2 rods, you know. And part of that time of the 2 rods was out of commission with them. Between the tangle and the gut hook fish, like, you know what I mean? Like, we've had some. I've not been as efficient as what I would have liked to have been today. So, it's okay. Let's get back here in my fancy cooler. Again, thank you to the Loys for hooking me up with this cooler. Y'all are awesome. I'll take a piece of skipjack. I was wanting to try a chunk of skipjack there earlier, and I got to talking and got distracted. I heard it thunder over there again. I hope it's just where it's going around. I hope there's not another round coming. I mean, it looks like the skies could open up at any time out here. Just how it is, man. Here's another thing. Having out of the motor, when it comes out, that'll do 7-8 miles an hour. You know, I know not very much speed difference, but when you're running from a storm, you'll appreciate that extra 3 miles an hour, by gosh. You sure will. Let's try this chunk out there. I just want to see what it'll do. I really, at this point, I don't think it matters what bait we're using. I think it's just a matter of getting it in front of the fish, and they're going to have at it. I got my dang reel handle over here. I may have to tinker with that rod holder on this cooler over here to kind of get it how I want it, but I knew if I could put them rod holders on that cooler, I didn't need that crate anymore. I just needed a way to store some rods when I'm going spot to spot, you know. So I think it's going to work out here how it is once I get it dialed in right. And I strapped this cooler to this crossbar that goes across here. So like this stays in the kayak when it's on the trailer going to and from home and stuff. Like it stays on the kayak. So the only thing I take out of the kayak when I'm traveling is my rods. They go in the car. Everything else I just strap down and you know, just go. Let me clean y'all's face off again here. Y'all done got you some water drops or something on here. It's dried. Oh, you forgot to. Oh, we're good. We ain't got that much out. I'm gonna find a dry spot on my shirt here to clean yous off. There we go. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and flip that bail over now. But yeah, I try to keep everything. I try to keep my process at the launch. I try to keep it quick as possible. I try to get on the water as quick as possible and off the water as quick as possible. And having everything in the kayak, the motor stays mounted, the battery in the front hatch, the cooler strapped down on the back, like it just fish. Oh boy, come on. It just makes for a simpler time doing that. I see some of these guys, man, they break down their whole kayak. They spend 20 minutes getting that kayak ready, 20, 30 minutes packing it up at the end of the day. I'm like, I'd rather spend that extra hour fishing. Ain't nobody got time for that. Then they tying up a boat ramp the whole damn time. I'm in this kayak, I back it down the ramp, launch it like a boat. When I finish up here today, I'm gonna probably run up to the car if it's pouring down rain. Back down, attach my rope to the kayak, pull it up on the trailer, pull the trailer up, out the water, strap it down, put my rods in the car, I'm good to go. It takes 2 minutes. Now the wind's gonna pick up on us a little bit. I probably should check radar again here in a minute too, just make sure we ain't about to get hit with some more. This fish here is another one that don't feel too bad. We've had a good day numbers-wise. I mean, really, for fishing 2 rods, well, we've been out here 3 hours, but hell, a half hour of that was running from the rain. Like, we've caught a lot of fish in a short period of time. Like, it has been, don't be surprised if I come back down here again. You know what I mean? Like, you on a bite like this, especially with a poor a bite as I've been on lately, like, it's finally coming together. These fish, they're off the nest now. They're feeding. I'm probably going to come back down here again. I want another shot at that big black one. Look at here. We got another one on the fly again. Oh, damn. He got my other line too. How did that even happen? Oh, we've had bad luck. All the planer board guys be like, "You should have been using planer board, Justin." I can hear them now. I can hear them now. It's exactly what they're going to be saying. Okay, there it comes. There it went. He come out of it. Good fish. All right. But he ate that fly. Another fly fish. It's weird now. We're getting fish on the fly all of a sudden. Went all morning without getting one there, and now, well, I say all morning, 2 hours, but now we've had 2 in the last few minutes on the fly. It's interesting. Both, though, have been smaller fish. That's all the camera time you get in fish. You're out of luck today, and he's mad about it. Look at him show out. He's ticked off about it, buddy. He said he's got a bum deal. He said he demands better than what he got here from me today. Back out it goes. All right, onward we go. Where will we stop? Back at the car. That's what I wanted to do today, though. I wanted to run downriver and work our way back toward the car, trolling upstream, because I thought if they did by chance turn on some generators later in the morning and we had a little bit of flow, I wouldn't want to be dragging downriver and having to try to outrun the flow to keep our lines taut. You know, so if I'm going to troll, I want to go into the current if there is any. And so I just run downriver, and we've just been working back toward the car, which we're probably, I don't know, close to a mile away from the car at this point. Like, we still got I made a good run. I wanted to start down there at that deep hole and then kind of make our way forward, because I thought there might be some fish maybe at the top edge of that hole. I thought they might be retreating down to it, because in the summer months, oftentimes deep holes is a good bite to get on. Like, you will catch a lot of fish in deep holes. So I wanted to kind of start there and meander our way up through here, and we've covered a fair amount of water. I mean, if you go half a mile an hour for 4 hours, that's 2 miles. So you can really cover some water. But that suspending base just wasn't panning out. You know, I'm not going to try to force it on them. Like when they're biting, what, 6 to 1, 8 to 1 on dragging versus suspending, like I'm not going to fight it. You know, I'm going to give them what they want. I'm pulling up radar here again. Bear with me a second here. I just want to see. What the hell is my radar's putting me up in Ohio here for some reason? What the hell's going on here? None of these apps are worth a damn, you know it? Okay, we're in that general area. I think everything's east of us. It's moving east. I think we're okay. I think we're in the clear. It looks like it's close to us. It looks like the sky could open up at any moment, but I think we're good. At least for now. All right, flip our bell over and we're back in the game. I guess we got lucky in a sense, y'all. We didn't get stormed on and we didn't get wetter than we did. It's so hot. I mean, it was going to be so hot out here today. It was a little rain we got. It actually felt pretty good, but it was supposed to be scorching hot, and it's comfortable right now. It's rained enough around us to cool everything off. So, but yeah, anyway, y'all, just to put a bow on everything, this part of the story, I'll just say, when that bona fide kayak comes out, there's probably a good chance that I'm going to get one. I can tell you right now, I won't like fishing out of it as much as what I do my other kayak. Because my other kayak's just more fun, man. Any smaller kayak is more fun as that fish comes up over here splashing. Are we getting bit back here? He's after it. Has he got it? He's hitting it. He's got it. Yep, another one. There has been fish all up and down through here, man. We're gonna come back down here soon. I want another chance at that big black one and any of his friends. I can't get over how dark he was. Like, I'm gonna have to pull off some pictures of this video. I might actually make a social media post. I ain't hardly posted anything on the social media this year. I hate Facebook and Instagram so bad. I hate to support them by posting anything. It's just social media part of doing this stuff, but I feel like I could just, if it wasn't for everybody just stealing stuff and making these fake accounts, pretending to be me, I could just do YouTube only. Let everything else go. I'd certainly be a lot happier, more content with it, but dang fake accounts, man. They just, you take a day off from it and there's 5 more. This is okay, this one's foul hooked on the fly. I was like, man, are we really getting 3 in a row here on the dang fly on this rod? We kind of did in a sense, but I mean, he didn't. This one's foul hooked. He didn't really. The other 2 ate it, like it was in their mouth. This one here just probably hit the bait and rolled himself right into a stinger fly. Let me have that hook. That catfish skin is tough as leather. Like, you can't hardly get that stuff. Can't get a hook out that stuff, man. Tell that fish to leave my bait alone. We're after the big ones now. We're needing us a big fish. You know what I need to do? I probably need to put a that bluegill on so I can use him as a thumbnail. That's what I need to do. I need to use that thing. It's like a red-breasted sunfish, real colorful fish. I need to put him on there. I might use him as the thumbnail anyway. Hell, nobody cares. Y'all that fish with me regularly on here, y'all don't care what the thumbnail is. I'd rather keep the white bass and skipjack out. I got more confidence in them baits. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just... On one hand, it's good that people, even though I don't think people know what they want, they think they do, but they don't. They're getting... The kayak industry's listening to them. They're catering to them. But it's disappointing to see that there's been no advancements in like actual kayaks. Because I mean, where do you draw the line as to what is a kayak and what is a boat? Obviously, when you put a motor on a kayak, technically it is considered a boat. You got to register it, you got to put numbers on the side of it, pay your yearly fee, which here in Tennessee, it's like $13 a year. It's no big deal. But you're still considered a boat once you put the motor on there. And these kayaks, like that bona fide kayak, you ain't paddling that thing, okay? They'll say, oh, you can paddle. You ain't paddling it. Nobody's going to paddle it. You'll paddle in an emergency if your motor tears up, but nobody's voluntarily going out paddling that thing. Now, this Hobie, for instance, it is a larger kayak / boat, but it has the pedal drive slot. Like, you can propel it via human power, if you will. So that's kind of the difference between, say, this kayak versus the bona fide, is one can be propelled by human power, the other cannot. And so I don't know where you draw the line, but I mean, it's getting ridiculous. At some point, and I hate to say this, I hate to sound like it. I can't believe this is coming out of my mouth. But at some point, why don't you just get a damn boat? I mean, like if you're wanting just the most stable platform possible to fish out of, just get a damn boat. Now these guys will say, well, I can put that thing where boats can't go. No, you can't. No, you can't. That bona fide 170 pounds without anything in it, like you're not putting that thing in some backwoods launch site. You need a damn boat ramp to launch that thing. So don't tell me, oh, I can launch it anywhere. No, you can't. So it's just, I don't know where this ends up. I feel like the pendulum, this fish is like a pendulum, by God. He's a pulling here. Did he just come off? No, he's coming at us. I think he's on. He may have come off and I'm just pulling in the bait foul I am. I thought maybe at first he was trying to swim toward us or something. All right, let's try that again. I don't remember what I was saying now. I was talking about the weights and stuff. You know, when a kayak's that heavy, you're not launching it just wherever. Like you're just not. And so if you've got a kayak that's so stable you can do jumping jacks on it, and you need a boat ramp to launch it at, well, what's the advantage of using a kayak in that situation, really? I mean, for tournament purposes, sure. If you're in a kayak tournament and you can't use a boat, sure, it makes sense. But just from a fun perspective, like I got into kayak fishing back before there was all of these kayaks. And so you took a regular kayak, if it had rod holders, like 2 rod holders behind the seat, it was considered a quote-unquote fishing kayak. Now, technology, demand, companies started making fishing kayaks. But as time has went on, that pendulum has swung because people are demanding more and more stable, they want more stable platforms. It swung from kind of over here where we didn't have any fishing kayaks to pedal / motorized kayaks. Now we're way over here where you've got like plastic John boats, if you will. I wish it would swing back at some point to land in that comfortable middle where everybody's pleased, where the people that just want a plastic John boat, they've got options, and people like me that maybe wants that plastic John boat too, but also wants some advancement and some improvement in the technology of actual kayaks, maybe they could start catering to us a little bit again too, because there's been no advancement, no changes really. And like the kayak, my pedal kayak, for instance, that Old Town Big Water, the design today in 2024 is the same design as it was 3-4 years ago. Like nothing's changed. And it's like that with all these companies that make fishing kayaks. Like there's not been any advancement in the design, the materials used, nothing. Like they're just, the money's not there because the demand, I guess, isn't there. Everybody's wanting these just giant stable platforms. So I hope that that proverbial pendulum, I hope it swings back and there's somewhere a happy medium for everybody. And I say everybody, mainly for me, because like I want both. I want both options. So this fish he may want both options too. He may want to fly and to cut bait. I don't know. We're on some fish though. And the funny thing is, we've got that live scope on. I got it facing forward as we go along. I'm really not seeing a lot. I'm not seeing a lot of fish on there. But by gosh, we're catching them. That live scope, I think I mentioned in one of these videos, I was going to take it off this kayak because it just, unless I'm crappie fishing or unless I'm seeing catfish up in the water column, which has pretty much been a wintertime thing when I've seen it, I don't really have a need for that live scope. It just gets in the way. It's too big. And so I thought about taking it off, but then I was like, well, if I am going to get a different kayak here in a couple of months, why change anything now? Just let it be for now until I make the switch. And probably what I'll do is put that on a temporary, like an ice fishing. They make these ice fishing mounts, portable mounts, I guess you call them, for those live scopes. I think I'm going to do that and then just be able to take it on and off the kayak when I want to use it. And then just have me my regular little 5-inch Raymarine graph, switch it back and forth between whatever kayak I'm using. Because I've got a second transducer for it. So I can put the transducer, have one transducer on each kayak and then just take the head unit off, depending on which kayak I'm using that particular day. Because I mean, it shows me my depth, my speed, and it's got a map card. That's all when we're out here doing what we're doing today, that's all we need. Depth, speed, map card. That's it. Basic graph. I don't need a TV screen up here. Catfishing doesn't have to be complicated. We make it complicated. It doesn't have to be. This is a better one. Oh Lord. He's mad. He's mad at me. If I got it, I'm doubled. Let's set this one back. Grab your other rod over here. Y'all ain't gonna do it. I'm telling you, he wouldn't. Oh, he let go. He let go. I wonder if he didn't get our bait. Felt like he got our bait. I'm gonna go ahead and reel it in. If he did, we'll rebait this one, get it going out while we land our other one, just to try to work efficiently. He did. He got our bait. I think I'm going to do another piece of skipjack though. I've got enough bait in my cooler because I'm probably going to fish, I don't know, another 30 minutes to an hour here, unless we're just really on a big fish bite. I'm gonna have to get out of here, but I've got enough bait left for the next trip, potentially. I hate to cut another one. Part of me wants to take that damn bluegill, though. I'm torn. A day like today, we're in a situation, it don't really matter what we're throwing out there, they're hitting all of it. I want to go ahead and get this out. I want to make sure we got this bait going down, because we're clear, even though I'm not seeing a great deal on the screen, as we make our way along, they're there, clearly. You know what I mean? Like, they're, just because we ain't seeing them, don't mean they ain't there. Okay, let's get this on here. It's a sow over here. That's a good fish. We've gotten several good fish today. That big black one was the biggest, but I mean, we've had some quality, fun-size fish. I mean, I'd be happy with this style of fish, this size of fish, anytime. Plus, we got that flathead too. That flathead he kind of got forgot about with that big blue, but I'm happy to get him too. Oh, don't do it, fish. Don't do it. You're getting me sopping wet now. We're just starting to dry out from the rain, fish. Okay. Come on in. If you'll behave, I'll give you a second of front camera time, fish. How's that sound? Is that the best idea you ever heard? He said he's heard better. Okay. Y'all hop back up here in the front seat so this fish can have his moment of fame. That's another, what I call fun size, man. Just a solid fish. This one's got a little bit more weight on it than some of the others we've gotten, but we've had a lot of them here kind of in this length and size range today. Like, they've really been thick through here. Oh, dang thing splashed again. Well, I mean, there's clearly some better quality fish mixed into it. We saw it with the flathead, that big blue, like, they're here. They're here, and it's going to continue now that we're done with the spawn, and it's certainly with the number of fish we're getting today. I'm gonna go ahead and flip that bail over. The number of fish we're getting today, it certainly seems like the post-spawn bite's going. That's going to continue to get better. That's going to continue to get better as the summer drags on, and if we get into some cooler weather here in the fall, especially, every year, usually like October, November, prime time months for big fish. So we're through the worst of it. The spawn is the spawn's tough. You get the male fish, a lot of them protecting the nest. They're just not fit. They're in the shallows. They're up in these cavities and stuff, like up under undercut banks and under logs and stuff. Like, they're just hard to catch. They're hard to target unless you're reaching in there with your damn hands, which I wish people would quit. But there's just a big portion of the catfish population that's damn near uncatchable during the spawn. So now that all of those fish are coming back out and they're hungry, like, the bite really, it ramps up, and it'll just get better. They'll get their weight back on. As we get into fall and water temps start to cool, they'll start feeding up, packing on weight for winter. Like, it's going to be, the worst is behind us. It's only going to get better from here. So I'm looking forward to it. I needed a day like today. Confidence, man, was just, one bad trip, everybody has it, but when you start stacking bad trips and you get in a slump, it starts to mess with your mind a little bit. And I was kind of getting there. I had some days lately that it just wasn't making sense. Because, I mean, really, this bite, like the bite we're getting here today, this should have started 2 or 3 weeks ago. I mean, typically it does. Like, it's behind. right now. This should have done been going. And maybe it has been, and I've just been wrong place, wrong time. But normally 2 or 3 weeks ago, like I'm having this kind of bite. And maybe it's just a little late this year. Same with the skipjack. Like maybe my timing has just been off on them. Because I was catching a bunch in the spring, but I just never could. Once the spawn wrapped up, I never could just get back on them in thick numbers. And even now, I'm just kind of I'm getting enough to get by. Like I'm not getting a cooler full every time I go out. I'm scraping by. Flip our bell over here. But you know what? We are getting enough to get by. And so you just gotta grind, man. That's part of fishing. You just gotta grind. That's what's gonna separate the people who have success regularly from those that don't, is who's willing to grind. Are you willing to put in the effort and put in the time? And if you are, it'll pay off for you. We're getting paid off today. I may have to pick up our speed a little bit. The wind is now hitting us from the side, and so the motor's wanting to kind of turn into it. So I may have to, let's pick up our speed. Let's just go up to like, since we're not suspending now, technically we can increase our speed and keep our baits down. When I'm suspending baits and I'm trolling, I kind of have to keep my speed at like half a mile an hour or less, because especially when you're fishing deeper water like this, because the resistance on your line will bring your baits at an angle to bring them up in the water column, and you'll have a harder time controlling your depth. So you either gotta slow down or you gotta use more weights, more sinkers to keep your lines vertical under you. With dragging, you just let out more line. Like if you want to go faster, you can let out more line, and that'll still keep your baits down. Your sinker will keep your baits down. So it's just one of them things you kind of gotta tinker with. Much easier. I mean, let's be real. It's much easier to do one technique or the other. Trying to combine them, especially in a kayak where your space is cramped, that's where it gets a little tough. But I wanted to do both today, just to see what was up, and I'm glad we did, because I mean, had we just been suspending, who knows? Who knows if we would have caught? I mean, we wouldn't have got skunked. We got 1 or 2 fish there, but we could have been going right over these fish and they're just not biting, and we wouldn't have had a clue. Because it ain't like, again, it ain't like we're seeing a bunch of stuff on the graph here. So, yeah, I'm glad we did both today. And these dragon rigs are pretty versatile. I mean, hell, up there at that Hoover tournament, the last hour of the tournament, I ended up just hitting spot lock and casting them dragon rigs out on bottom, using them like anchor fishing rigs. Caught fish. I've done that numerous times, where like I'll be dragging and I'll get on some fish and I'll hit spot lock, and maybe I'm in current or something. I just throw them damn dragon rigs off behind me and use them like a anchor fishing rig. I mean, they're a versatile rig. You just can't cast them very well with that long leader and the long sinker. They don't cast well. But I mean, I don't cast very often anyway, to be honest with you, unless I'm bank fishing. Like most of the time, if I'm suspend fishing, for instance, I get right on top of whatever it is that I want to fish on. Like I'll put my baits right on it. I don't I see these guys, they'll say they're quote unquote precision anchoring, and they'll be 50 yards away and they're casting their baits out to it. And it's like, so you're casting a line out, you're 50 yards away, here's a fish that's, you let it go. But I'm like, you're casting to something that's 50 yards away, you're fishing in current, your bait has to fall down 50, 60 feet deep. Like, you're not precisely placing that bait where it needs to go. There's no damn way. You couldn't hit a target 50 yards away, and you're out there in your yard where you could see what you're casting at. Now you're trying to hit something imaginary. That was a big splash. It may have been paddlefish over there. But imagine you got a target out here underwater that you can't see 50 yards away. You're here casting at it. You got the depth of the water that you got to allow for. If there's current, you got to allow for that. And you're telling me you're going to hit that precisely? Bull-larky. You ain't hitting it. Now, what I do, when you see me anchor fishing and I'm sitting right on top of something and dropping my baits down to it, like that's precise. That's what I consider precision anchoring. But it makes for a good YouTube title if somebody says they're precision anchoring. I guess. Every time I see somebody that's got a title, precision anchoring, they're rarely being precise. I'm gonna try to get us turned and going up this way here, working toward this hole up here. That don't matter today. We've got fish all up and down through here. I don't think we need to be on anything specific today. I think that storm and stuff may have gotten around us finally. I ain't heard it thunder in a little while now. Well, I guess we caught a break with it. I felt pretty unlucky there when we was running from it, but now I'm feeling like we got lucky that we didn't have all the lightning and stuff. I'll have people criticize me for reeling up and going to the dock, but I felt like it was the responsible thing to do. We heard the thunder. I wasn't seeing lightning, but we heard thunder. And if you hear thunder, lightning's close by. That's what the people say anyway. It looked like it was coming toward us on the radar. It certainly looked terrible around us. So I think we made the right call from a responsibility standpoint. The storm broke up and went around. So we were fortunate, but it probably cost us some fish because the 30 minutes or more, however long we spent trying to find a dock to get under and then coming back, that's time that we would have probably been catching fish. Just based on how the day has gone to that point and after, I think we probably missed out on several fish. And we may have gotten some big fish too, who knows? It's one of them mysteries of the universe we'll never know, we'll never solve. I'm gonna have to get me something to drink, man. I'm parched. I've been sitting here talking to you to the point my mouth's went dry. I need to get me something to eat too. I'm getting hungry. I didn't have no breakfast today. I may stop at Donna's Diner on the way home and get me something. I can't remember what today's special is. I hope it's chicken casserole day. She makes a damn good chicken casserole. Our special changes every day. I mean, some days are set, but I can't remember what today's special is. There's one day, it's a rotating day. Sometimes it's chicken casserole, sometimes it's country fried steak, cube steak, meatloaf. There's various things. I can't remember what day it is, but I'm gonna probably stop there on the way home. I got a fish to catch first. By gosh, here we go again with another one. Another one on the white bass. I put that skipjack chunk on. I was curious with it what it would do, because we were getting the action on the skipjack head, and the chunk isn't really doing much, but the white bass today, and white bass is a summertime bait for me. Now, I've not done good on it lately when I've used it, but just historically in the summer months is when white bass performs best for me. And today, it's got several fish for us, and it got our biggest fish. So my next bait run, I may focus a little more on, when I went out, and that last video should be a bait run, like I was trying to focus on skipjack. I caught white bass immediately after launching the kayak. But I was trying to focus on skipjack. We could have loaded a cooler full of white bass. They've been super easy to get lately. It's the skipjack I ain't been able to find. There's another one here that feels like he's going to end up being a decent fish. Yep, another. Well, he ain't as big as I thought. Yeah, he's a larger dink. At first look I got at him, I thought he was going to be another fun size. And I guess he is fun size on length. Maybe not. He's skinny though, either way. Like, he's a very, very skinny fish. I'm not insulting. You would have thought I called him fat the way he's acting. Listen, fish, I was just saying. I was pointing out a fact. You are skinny. I'm trying to feed you. I ain't giving you nothing now. I might have would have give you that bait because they need to switch it out anyway. I ain't doing it now with you acting like this. These smaller fish always act a damn fool. These are the ones in this size right here. When you're in a tournament, you can't get them to lay still on a measuring board for nothing. The big ones will be just calm. They'll lay there, let you get your pictures, do whatever you need. You get one this size, they will flip and flop and slide around and just will not calm down for nothing. There he is. There's your moment of fame. He's gone. Let's switch this out. I'll just run. Yeah. There, we got it. Now let's just put another chunk on there, spruce things up a smidge. I really like this cooler, man. I can fit so much more bait in there. I know, I mean, that's a 48 quart. My other one's 35. Like, it's only, I mean, it's not, numbers-wise, not that big a difference. But boy, I guess just the design of it, with this one being taller, I can fit so much more in there. Like, I like it. I really like that cooler. Plus, Tennessee orange. Badass. The most badass color ever. They need to make some kayaks in Tennessee orange. That's what they need to do. All right. Get that thing through. There we go. Lord, let's cut that fin off. That'll mess up a hook set quicker than anything right there. I can just see that thing flopping over the hook in a minute as we lower it down. Goodness gracious. Okay. I feel like the simplest of tasks today have oftentimes been very difficult. As it starts to rain again. Okay. Down it goes. Don't let me forget to flip that bail over. Throw that tail out. All right, we fishing. Moving about 0.6-ish, 0.65. That boat right there, he ain't got to worry about getting wet. He's got one of them bimini tops. Normally, if it's going to rain, I put my umbrella in here, my poor man's bimini top. Oh, that's a catfish boat too. We don't need to be catching nothing right now. Don't need them seeing us catching something. I hope they keep going. My scheduling on these videos, there was a time when I was about 7-8 videos ahead, which is ideal because I can post a video and it still be relevant, you know, the information I'm sharing as far as water temps and type of places and depths that we're getting fish at and stuff. But I've had enough time to thoroughly fish that area and move on before people see where I'm at on video and then start showing up, like other YouTubers and stuff. And I went through my slump and all that, and so now I'm like 3 videos ahead, so I'm gonna have to get back down here again. I may come back down here tomorrow, if weather allows. I just might. Because I guarantee you, if somebody can figure out where I'm at today, they'll be down here on it. And this kind of bite, you know, this main channel ledge bite here, like it's gonna be going on all over out here once it starts. Like you're gonna, now some areas are gonna be better than others, of course, but like this bite will be, I'm gonna flip this bell over now. It'll be going on all over, but for some reason, man, people see you, they pull out a landmark, they figure out exactly where you're at, and they're like, I gotta go there. So if I'm on a good bite and I wanna hit it multiple times, in order for me to do that, I gotta do it before the first video comes out. I need me a cushion again. I need to have about like 5 trips in a row very quickly to, you know, together if the weather would allow. Like if I could fish 5 days in a row and get a video every day and get me back ahead again, I'd be set. We'll have a time like that. It's just the weather lately has been the biggest nuisance. I've lost so many days because of the weather. Whether it's either it's been actively storming or there's been a great enough risk of storms that I've not wanted to chance it and get out on the water. Because I mean, I don't want to leave my house. If it's 50% chance that I'm going to get stormed on out on the water or have to leave the water early, like I don't even want to go. You know, I don't want to drive 30 minutes to an hour to go fish and then get stormed out, or get out on the water for 30 minutes and get stormed out. So I just end up not going. In my younger, more dedicated days, I'd have went, you know. But now that I'm old and lazy, I just don't. So there's been a lot of days lately I just ain't going. And I don't go on weekends hardly at all unless I'm carp fishing or maybe making a bait run. I don't want to catfish out here on a Saturday or Sunday when all the bass boaters are going and pleasure boaters and stuff. I don't like fishing in the afternoons anymore because, again, I'm old and lazy. I don't want to deal with all the pleasure boats. I'll switch back to the afternoons in the fall and winter when the air temperatures start to get cooler. But right now, when the most comfortable temperatures of the day is first thing in the morning, that's when I want to fish. So Monday through Friday, when the weather allows, I do it. If the weather don't allow, well, I just don't go. It's something about getting older. When I was younger, I would just grind, man. I'd put in more hours, fish worse conditions. As I've gotten older, I don't do that, but I catch more fish now. I guess because I've just gotten better. I've gotten smarter. This fish ain't got no smarter. This fish ain't got smarter at all. He's bit a piece of bait with a hook in it. Oh, he let it go. The bait's still on there, it feels like. What did I've hit a button on my trolling motor, y'all. It's beeping up there now. Of course, y'all, I hit a button on my microphone earlier. You may not even be able to hear it beep. I don't know what that beeping is. I got my speed and everything set how I want it right now. I don't want to fool with it, try to get that beeping off. It's always something with technology. I'm curious to see how that power pole motor will function. I've had them power poles that I use carp fishing now for 2 years, I think. I had 2 warranty claims in the first few months. Now that those issues are resolved, I've not had any issues since, but it's definitely concerning. And when you look at now, that motor is apparently going to have like a 3-year warranty on it. So that's good from that aspect, but I mean, it's going to be an expensive motor fish. Oh, buddy, here we go. Oh, okay, he's still on there. He's coming at us. I thought he had let it go too. Our next problem here, y'all, is my battery's about dead. My battery pack is dead. Now I see it's red here on the camera. we're in the home stretch here. At least the film, I'm gonna fish a little longer, I think. I'm at least gonna work my way up to the back toward the car. I'll probably give it 30 minutes to an hour maybe. Me and you, I guess, will be parting ways here whenever this camera shuts off. I think this is going to be another pretty solid fish from what he feels like. They're on the white bass. We're definitely coming back down here though. I want to hit this area again. Weather allows, may could do it tomorrow. We've got enough bait left today for a second trip. And some big bubbles coming up back there. I hope y'all get to see this thing before the dang. I had a trip a couple months ago. I was in the same situation. I was in a race against the damn battery and I rushed it and I ended up breaking my line. Good fish, buddy. Good fish. Really good fish. I don't want to rush this thing, but at the same time too, if we don't get him quick, y'all ain't gonna see him because this wind red. Wind red, motor's beeping up there for some unknown reason. I guess maybe I should have just turned the camera off when it was raining and picked it back up after the fact, but yeah, again, I want these damn videos to be a real fishing trip with y'all, you know? Like, I want you all to be here like you were actually here in the kayak with me, and had you been in the kayak with me, well, by God, we'd been in the damn rain together. Oh, look here. This one ate the fly. This one ate the fly, folks. He's ate it too. It's right there in the mouth. There's the cut bait. Oh, he just unhooked himself. Boy, ain't that something now. We have had, what was that, 3 or 4 fish now in the last, since we come back out after the rain where they've ate the fly. That's interesting, folks. That was a solid fish. I don't know if, I hope the camera angle is such that you could see him. That was a solid fish. That was probably our second biggest fish of the day. On the damn fly, man. That's why I like them flies. You just never know. You never know when they're going to hit the fly. It gives them 2 options for every rig you got out. An artificial, looks like a smaller bait fish, and you've got the cut bait. So you've got the scent working for you with the cut bait and another presentation there. It's just, there's no reason not to have them is the thing. That's what I'm getting at. There's no reason not to have them on your rigs. But anyway, y'all, this battery, it's about to crap out. It may not make it through me getting through this spiel here. But anyway, thank y'all for coming with me today. Thank you for sitting through the rain. We lost some fishing time. I'm probably going to fish here in 30 minutes to an hour. I'm going to keep going, at least up here to the car, and pull some more baits and hopefully catch some more fish. I think I will probably catch a few more. But don't be surprised next video if I'm back out here on this same general area again, man. You get on a bite, and again, this bite's probably going on all over the damn river right now. But when you get on an area where you know there's fish at and you know there's big fish, it's hard not to go back to it. At least it is for me. So we're probably going to be back out here again. Whether or not it pans out like it did today, I don't know, but we'll probably try it. But anyway, y'all, battery's about to crap out. I want to get this bait back out. Thank you for coming with me. And yeah, hopefully next trip out is as productive as this one. I'll see you then.